All right. What's going on, everybody? I want to say hello to everyone joining us on Playback and YouTube. Welcome to another Fear the Sword watch party. This time, we're not covering the Cavs, but instead, we watch Detroit Pistons take on the Charlotte Hornets. Listen, I'm all in on the JB Bickerstaff experience. I know Dan is with me. Dan, the ride or die in the chat. Glad to see you in here. I think it's going to be a fun time. I'm excited to check in with an old friend in JB, see how he has the Pistons playing. They've been playing pretty decent ball, almost 500 to start the season. Uh, so we're going to have Mike from Fear the Sword joining us sometime soon. Mike, if you're in here, uh, I think you can join the stage. I believe Jackson made you a creator. So if you see that button, go ahead and join. If not, text Jackson, bother him. He'll figure it out. Yeah, you'll be synced up for once, Dan. So this is gonna be fun. I'm honestly really interested in this Pistons team, not just because of JB, but because they have a lot of young guys who I think are interesting. The fit isn't all that great, but I'm looking forward to it. And the Hornets, LaMelo always makes them interesting. It's like a circus act. So hopefully we get a good game between these two teams. What's going on, Mike?
What's up?
How you doing, man? I'm looking forward to this.
I'm doing well. The first time I've talked to you ever.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy? We've been at Fear the Sword for a minute now. We've been mutuals on Cavs Twitter. We
For
gotta
a
get you
while,
on the
yeah.
pod sometime soon. But I'm glad that we're doing this. Glad we got you on playback.
Yeah, this is my other team that I
Yeah.
follow.
I don't know why you would do that to yourself, but no, I'm kidding. I was just saying at the intro. I actually, this Pistons team, they're interesting to me. I think this game hopefully will be fun.
They're much better, and they picked the perfect coach in JD Bickerstaff because he's done this before, taken tumultuous situations and just bad culture and a lot of young players that are kind of unmolded clay and taken them and turned them into something that's a positive on the court, like he did with Colin Sexton and Darius Garland and Evan Mobley, and he navigated the Kevin Porter Jr. situation, so he knows how to handle this. And the Pistons needed that kind of guidance.
Yeah, I think it was really sweet that JB basically how quickly did that happen? I feel like it was just a couple days after he got fired, he was hired again in Detroit. And it's like he just landed in the ideal JB environment where we just saw him do it with the Cavs. And for all like I know that people have really been laying into JB because the Cavs just look so good right now. And it's like, wow, we got rid of JB and we're a title contender and everyone's
Yeah.
blaming JB for it. But the reality is he helped establish the foundation that got us to where we are now. And it's really cool to see him landing on his feet with another opportunity to do it with some, there's no Evan Mobley over there, but you got Jalen Duren. There's no Donovan Mitchell, but you got Cade Cunningham. Like there's some pieces that he can mold here. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they
Yep.
develop throughout the season.
Yep. He's got a little bit of free reign to figure out how to make Jaden Ivey and Kate Cunningham work, and he's done that with the Cavs backcourt. Um, he's got a young wing like Isaac Okoro, hopefully not entirely like Isaac Okoro, but he's got a young wing who has some trouble shooting, but is high intensity, and Asar Thompson and Ron Holland, who are kind of like Spider-Man memes of each other. So he's got a lot of things he can work with. Jalen Duren is again the super young, um, what I think is high upside, but he hasn't really shown it yet. Type of center who can profile to be like a Jared Allen type, hangs around the rim, is able to play some perimeter defense and be a rim protector. But he's got his work cut out for him there. But the pieces are there. The Pistons have a lot of good young players. They have some savvy vets who are kind of backing up JB's message. So I think all the pieces are there. It's just a matter of how is he going to put them together, and it's not going to be in one season. It's going to be several seasons of this, but this is already massive growth. I don't think the Pistons won 7 games until like I don't know. They were like 7-44, I think.
I
So
have
they
it. I pulled it. They
you got it up.
so
Okay, good.
yeah, they're 7-9 to start the season. That's half the amount of wins that they had last year. They finished 14
Yes,
and whatever last year. It took them until February 7th to win 7 games last year. Of course, they had that historic 28 game losing streak. I believe it was 28 games. Uh, listen,
they did. Yes.
the thing that was sad about the losing streak is that they were really competitive in a couple of those games. But they just loss after loss. It was honestly, it was hurt. It hurt to watch.
Yes, it did hurt to watch. It also hurt to try to podcast about.
Oh
We
yeah,
were
I can
just like
imagine.
desperately trying to figure out anything to talk about. Um, and it got tough. We were some of the earliest Troy Weaver haters, and we got a lot of hate for that. And we were correct, not to toot our own horn, but we were absolutely correct. Uh-oh, misses a lob. So Tony, being somebody that's not like keeping up with the Pistons like deep like I am,
Mhm.
what is your oh look at that a Jalen Duren like a little miss at the rim. What is your
Yeah.
sense of the Pistons?
You know what? I was tentatively high on them entering the season, and when I say high, I just meant like I could see them playing the way they're playing right now, and maybe like being a threat to be a play-in team. Will they actually get there throughout the rest of the season? We'll see. But I did think they had some potential. I want to learn more about like what you think about Cade Cunningham and what his ceiling is. You mentioned Jalen Duren a little bit. Of course, I'm a fan of Ron Holland as someone who's always bought into those long athletic wings who they can play defense, but they can't really do anything on offense. You just kind of pray that you take a swing on a guy like that and just pray that
Yeah,
he'll develop something. Sar Thompson, another one of those guys who's pretty similar there. He's yet to play this season, right? But I mean,
correct.
he's a freak of nature athletically. His brother's having a really solid year in Houston, so I think he'll be fun. And like you said, they have a lot of pieces. So to me, I would say like I would rather be the Pistons than the Hornets right now. I think. I feel like they're. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe that's. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I think they have some legitimate stuff to work with. They added some veterans this year. Uh, do you think they'll be a play-in team, and do you think they should want to be a play-in team, or should they kind of just stay in the lottery?
um, I I'm of the mindset that they've lost enough that if they can get into the play-in tournament, I would say go for it.
Mhm.
Um, they've had 4 straight fifth overall picks. Maybe it's 3 straight. Fifth overall picks. They
Yeah, they haven't gotten
since Cade
lucky in a while.
Cunningham, and to me, I think you just have to try to make it a little bit interesting. This is a young team that's hungry to do anything. Not to say that they should be buyers at the deadline, and I
Yeah,
don't think they will be. I do think that they'll be one of the like not selling, not buying, retooling kind of like if someone's calling about Malik Beasley or Tim Hardaway Jr., you're going to listen. They're vets who can shoot. I think every playoff team is going to need that. So you listen on that sort of stuff, but we're not in the position, or rather, the Pistons are not in the position they were last year, where they're looking at do we trade Jalen Duren? Do we trade Jay Ivey because the fit is not there with Kate Cunningham? Is Kate going to ask out? We're not there anymore, which is very helpful. But I do think if they're going to be close to the play-in. They should probably try to make it, but they shouldn't be trying to acquire pieces at this stage. They still have just so much unknown with their young guys before they start moving any of them for like stars or something.
yeah, I think that's a perfect way to frame it. Like, it's never a bad thing to get some postseason experience, even if it is just the play-in tournament. Like, again, JB, his challenge here is establishing a culture, getting them trending in the right direction. And if you make the play-in team after, you know, last year losing 28 in a row, that would feel pretty good. And sometimes the vibes matter. Sometimes it's good for young players to get some confidence and see that, there is something here. But obviously,
Absolutely.
another really high draft pick would help as well. Cooper Flag would probably
Oh,
be nice.
yeah, because that's the one thing that they really don't have is a four.
Yeah.
Um, they've got Isaiah Stewart, who's good in a very unique way. They have Simone Fontecchio, who's my lone Italian left in the league, I think. And he hasn't been too good this year. He started off really cold. He had an injury as well. He dealt with a foot injury last year. So they don't really have a four. I mean, they kind of have stuff that could be a four, like Asar Thompson could be a four, but not as a like a primary four. He could play up a position, but they don't have a four, particularly a stretch four. And that's the one thing that they lack. And hey, if they can oh, look who's in the chat. Italian bloggers. Jackson, we don't need to get into that. We don't need to get into your Italian food takes just yet. We have a lot of game left before we get into that.
Yeah, we don't want to hear Jackson's food takes. He told me that he's a Moe's guy over Chipotle, and that was all I needed to know.
Oh, wow.
It's a little too
Why?
spicy of a take.
Why?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him. Hopefully he'll respond in the chat.
I guess the queso at Moe's is better. I don't like the queso at Chipotle, but there's more to it than just queso.
Yeah, I honestly can't even remember the last time I had Moe's. I know the Chipotle
neither.
queso isn't very good. I don't even bother. But yeah, I'm taking Chipotle over Moe's all day, every day.
Oh,
Yeah, here you go.
he's hiding behind the Fear the Sword
Yeah,
handle.
we do not endorse what Jackson's saying behind the blog handle. All right, everyone
I
at Fear
agree
the
with
Sword does
Jackson,
not feel
then.
this way.
Okay. No. They're also not here for our food takes, although I think eventually it'll come to that. I've not paid attention nearly enough to this game.
That's the challenge sometimes with these playback streams. You get a little sidetracked, but we can lock in here. We'll pay attention. I'm looking at the box score. You do some box score watching to catch you up. Tobias Harris, 5 points already. Cade has 2. That's it for Detroit. Brandon Miller's got 5. LaMelo's got 4. And Josh Green has 3. So what do you think of the Tobias Harris reunion? Has it been everything you could have dreamed of?
No, because I don't think Tobias Harris is anything anybody dreams of. But I do think that they desperately missed a stabilizing vet last year. In watching all those Pistons games, sometimes they just had 4 or 5 kids, straight kids out there playing.
Yeah.
And that's just not conducive to winning. And partially that's Monty Williams' fault. Partially that is Troy Weaver's fault for putting together a team with like no vets and the only backup point guard being Corey Joseph. So they desperately needed a vet to kind of glue some of those young guys together. And Tobias Harris, for all his flaws, is a floor raiser. He's not a ceiling raiser as the Philadelphia 76ers just saw, but he's a floor raiser. And the Pistons desperately needed like 6 floor raisers. Same thing with Malik Beasley. I mean, I don't know why the Bucks didn't keep him, but they could sure use him. And Tim Hardaway Jr. they basically got as a dump off with Quentin Grimes. So who I'm told hated being in Detroit. So you get a Michigan man back in Tim Hardaway. You get Tobias Harris, who's a floor raiser. You get Malik Beasley, who fills a shooting need for a team that was horrendous at shooting last year. And all of a sudden, this team looks a lot better. It's like amazing. Shocking.
Yeah, I think you nailed it right there when you said they're floor raisers. They're maybe not ceiling raisers, but they're definitely floor raisers. It does help to have so Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway, and Malik Beasley. That's 3 legit NBA guys. They're not all-stars or anything, but they're like legit NBA players. And for the
Correct.
Pistons and for a lot of lottery teams, a lot of times you have a lot of guys out there who maybe aren't going to be in the NBA much longer. So the fact that you have 3 guys you can rely on to an extent, kind of raise your floor, it does put, someone like Cade Cunningham or any of their other young guys in a better position to show what you have. Because when you're losing every game, when you're losing 28 in a row, it's kind of hard to really develop or build anything. But when you're actually competitive in these games and you get those reps, it's really important.
And look who they replaced those guys with. They replaced Joe Harris, who's out of the league.
Yeah.
They replaced Killian Hayes, who's not in the NBA. They replaced James Wiseman, who was the worst player on the team last year, probably.
Man.
Yeah. I mean, they just got so much better. Even Paul Reed, adding him off the waiver, is such a huge gain because he has experience backing up centers. He's a guy that you can plug in and feel safe playing. They made such obvious moves that it's like it's a duh moment. Of course, you had NBA caliber players and not the corpse of Joe Harris. And all that you really did there was help the Brooklyn Nets sign Cam Johnson to an extension. That's all it did. It wiped Joe Harris's money off the books, and they signed Cam Johnson to the extension. That's it. They didn't facilitate anything else. What the hell are they doing? Baffling.
What did you think of James Wiseman last year? Obviously, you said he was, maybe the worst player on the team. I would love to hear more about that experience because I was writing for Fansided, covering the Warriors when they drafted James Wiseman. So I did a lot of deep dives into him entering his rookie season and all that. And it's the downfall is unfortunate, like Dan said. He had a
Yep.
lot of raw potential, and I'm not really sure what went wrong there.
Um, the whole thing. If you look at the James Wiseman Detroit Pistons saga, that trade where they traded Sadiq Bey to Atlanta and got Wiseman, and the Golden State Warriors got like what, Gary Payton in 4 seconds or something, or they
Yeah,
traded away 4 seconds, whatever that cursed
basically
thing
nothing.
was.
Yeah.
First off, to trade a wing like Sadiq Bey, I don't care if you think Sadiq's bad or that you're not going to sign him to a contract extension. Taking a swing on someone like Wiseman when you already had Jalen Durham and you already had Isaiah Stewart is
Mm.
just shockingly dumb. Um, but he was given a long leash. He got a lot of minutes last year. Jalen Duren's undergone a lot of ankle injuries over the course of his short career, so Wiseman got a lot of run. And the experience was he was a defensive turnstile. He was not the most aware player in the world on either side of the ball. His box scores looked pretty good, and he had a ton of fans. A ton of fans. How do I know? Because they would comment on our podcast when we would trash him, and they would be very angry at us in doing that. And look, he
Wiseman
tore his
defender.
Achilles. Terrible, awful. No one wishes that on anybody. But his time in Detroit was not good. It was not. It was not
Mhm.
good for anybody. It didn't raise his value, and it did not help the Pistons win basketball games.
Yeah. I remember watching him for the Warriors his rookie season. And, of course, he's a rookie. So there's certain things you'll excuse, but he just seemed like he had horrible basketball instincts. I mean, not to just trash him, but it really felt like here's a guy who was just really tall, really athletic. And that's why he was able to dominate for so long. By the time you get to the NBA, all those flaws and gaps in his game really came to fruition. And it just became like he was unplayable for the Warriors, which isn't a surprise considering how his career's panned out, but he just looked so out of place. And I feel like a team like that's been so well coached and well run, when you're consistently looking that out of place, even as a rookie, it was a big red flag.
And he was unplayable on a team that lost 28 games in a row.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
I mean,
that's insane.
that's
That's
bad.
crazy.
That's tough.
And they had no other backup center other than Marvin Bagley, who they traded. Forgot about Marvin Bagley the third, who they also signed to a
Oh
ludicrous
yeah, I forgot.
contract.
They had, the Walmart brand Tower City with those two, Bagley and
Yeah,
Wiseman.
they did, and they tried to play them together.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure if I went to cleaning the glass and looked up, my computer would catch on fire or try to punch me in the face or something for even looking that up. But they tried any combination of two bigs with Bagley at the four or Isaiah Stewart at the four or whatever, Wiseman at the four. I mean, I'm sure that Monty Williams gave it his all, but man alive, their big rotation was, and it still is, kind of a mess. It's a mess now. Look, Jalen Duren has a lot of pressure on him to be good right now if the Pistons are going to make the play-in. They don't have a whole lot of wiggle room to like weather a really bad Jalen Duren. They have Paul Reed, who's fine, but they have Isaiah Stewart, who could play some five. He's been open to playing more five, but if Jalen Duren is a swing and a miss, then it's looking a little barren back there. And Paul Reed's had his injury history as well. Isaiah Stewart's had his injury history. It could get awfully thin back there if Jalen Duren is not effective. And I've seen so far today in my like peripheral that he missed a bunny at the rim and he had a horrible turnover off the elbow in trying to throw a lob, I think. So he's
Yeah.
like the X factor that we've determined on the Palace of Pistons podcast, which everybody should subscribe to on Substack. He's kind of our X factor for them this year. Cade's Cade. Jaden Ivey looks a lot better. Isaiah Stewart's accepted his role. The vets are fine. Jalen Duren is the X factor.
Yeah, from my, limited Pistons knowledge, I would agree with that. I think Jalen Duren is definitely a big X factor. How much better can he get would really change things for you guys. And of course, if he stagnates or just, doesn't reach any of that potential, then it puts their outlook in a completely different place.
Yeah, it does. And he has all of the potential. He had a pretty good rookie season. He had a foot injury his sophomore year. And yes, Jackson, we are sure. And he had, bigs with foot problems. Cavs fans will know. Zydrunas Ilgauskas, even Rockets fans with Yao Ming, that bigs with foot problems is never a good thing. And he weathered that. He kind of looked a little iffy. His defense is pretty bad. There was a clip or a series of clips of him that went viral. It was like 20 minutes of just him losing his defender on defense. And
oh my goodness,
that's the kind of stuff that just can't happen.
Yeah, when you're James Harden, you can get away with that type of montage because it's like you're an incredible offensive player. When you're Jalen Duren, you probably want to clean that up.
Yep. And I think that JB is honestly a good coach for that.
It's a good vertical contest right there.
Yeah, this is certainly a basketball game.
So one thing that you can trust in a JB Bickerstaff team is that they're going to play defense. And I went ahead and took a look. This was actually a hot take, not a hot take, but a take that I shared. And I think Jackson was shooting it down. Maybe I'm misremembering that. But I said, I think they could be a top 10 defense this year, at least top 15. And right now they are top 10. For the first time in, I think, 4 years, they're in the top 10. So listen, we know JB. You still stand by it, Jackson. Okay, we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if they finish in the top 15. They have a lot of defensive tools, and JB clearly knows what he's doing over there, but we'll let the Pistons expert chime in on this. Do you think this is sustainable?
Where's he at? Where is the Pistons expert at?
I think
we have a third person on the stage. I think they can be a top 15 defense for sure. I think they can be a top 12 defense. They're missing their best defender in Asar Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
And Asar Thompson, out of Pistons that played at least 1,000 minutes last year, he had the second highest plus minus behind Isaiah Stewart. Higher than Cade Cunningham, higher than Jaden Ivey. And that's because his defense is so good. And it's even more impressive because his offense is not good. He's not a good shooter. You can't trust him in isolation. His handle is not where I think the Pistons would like it to be. You can't trust him to do any of that stuff. But the defense is real and the athleticism is real. He really is Isaac Okoro. If Chris Manning was here, we'd be yelling about why is Asar Thompson not running around screens and just cutting constantly. And that's really what he needs to do. Once he comes back healthy and that defense is kind of and he's kind of glued back into the lineup, that defense should get better. It was good with him last year on the court, which is impressive because they were terrible on almost every other way. But Asar was good. So I think if he stays healthy and the rest of the team is able to stay healthy, the sky's the limit. Can they be a top 10 defense? Yes, I think they could. They've gone through a pretty tough part of the schedule already. Their first 6 games were brutal. They played Boston. They played Cleveland. They played the Knicks. They played the Pacers on opening night. They had a very tough schedule right out of the gate, and they're still a pretty good defense.
Yeah, and the fact that they're 7-9 after going through that, it's honestly impressive. Yeah, I think I would definitely say top 15 is incredibly doable. Anything better than that, like Jackson mentioned this when it came to the Cavs. It's just if you can establish a good defense, not even just average, but like top half of the NBA defense, you're going to put yourself in a lot of games to be competitive. And again, as we were saying at the beginning, with all these young guys that you're trying to develop, being competitive is good. Taj Gibson is on the floor right now. So hopefully the Pistons can win these minutes right here.
I can't believe Taj Gibson is still playing.
Neither can I. I don't think he can believe he's still playing. I don't think he expected to be on the court much.
Like a team called his agent, and his agent was like, "Are you serious? Really, Charlotte? Okay, so sign me up.
There's
We'll
still
go hang out
minutes
in
for him?
Charlotte." He
So they
started
have,
a game a week ago.
yeah. They just have no one else to play center right now.
They have no bigs. Mark Williams, JT, or they don't, or not JT
Not
Thor,
the
Nick Richards.
yeah.
I'm getting my years mixed up. K just makes stuff look smooth.
Very smooth player, very deliberate, under control.
Yeah.
Cody Martin. All right, the Pistons,
I see
they find themselves
Fontecchio's on the floor.
he was a big target for Cavs fans this summer. People, and myself included, were kind of interested in seeing if they could go after him.
I think he was always staying in Detroit.
Mm. Yeah, that seemed to be. It sounded like a pipe dream. I remember, but Cavs fans were just hoping that they'd have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I think they were very soured on Dean Wade, and they were looking for a Dean Wade replacement, and he is
Mm.
a Dean Wade replacement kind of guy, but he's really not. The defense from Dean Wade is just
Dean
so
is
much
great.
better than whatever Simone can do.
The Dean Wolf, the way he's played this season, when he's been healthy on defense, has really been incredible. He's always been like a really good defender. I feel like every year, the last 3 or 4 years, when they post like the D LeBron wing defenders, it's Dean Wade's always in like the top 5 or 10. And the first year, it was kind of like a Thaddeus Young type of thing, where we're like, is he really a top 10 defender? We're not sure. Then it happens again. Then happens for a third year, and now it's happening again. And we're at the point where we're like, yeah, Dean Wade is legitimately one of the best wing defenders in the NBA. The dude can play. He's really taken, I would say, people by surprise the last 2 years, especially.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny loves Dean Wade. He's
Yeah.
like talking about how did the Cavs find this guy?
Bad
What do we
foul.
feel? How do we feel about the Hornets announcers? Because I realize we have the loudest announcer
Yeah,
behind us.
I like him, but I don't know how I would feel if it was my announcers for all 82 games. Would I get tired of it? Hearing the highlights are awesome, but would I get tired of Eric
Yes.
Collins through 82 games? I don't know.
I mean, look, everybody needs something to pump you up in the middle of
True.
February in Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a hater. I know some people really hate it. I think I would much rather have an Eric Collins than any announcers who just sound like they don't care. Ron Holland burying a three. We love
Ron
to see
Holland
it.
drilled a three, stepped right into it.
It's good to see.
It is good to see.
Oh, it's a rookie battle right now.
Sir.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah, I would like more announcers like Eric Collins across the NBA. It's a nice
I
looking
only
jumper
do
there.
listen to basketball games mute.
Oh,
A
okay,
lot of
you're
the
one of
time I
those
will.
guys.
I'm one of those
I've
guys.
always wanted to, but I don't know. I've never actually even tried it. I've heard people do it. I'm like, sounds like a good idea. You really lock in. But I've never given it a shot.
I would say I don't mind John Mike. Um,
He's no Fred.
I do miss Fred McLeod a lot.
Yeah.
I will go back and listen to Fred McLeod calls probably once a month. I have like a playlist of great announcer calls that just like make me stop and freeze in the moment and remember where I am. And mostly they're Tom Hamilton calls for the guards because
Mhm.
he's got a million of them. but I went on a Jim Donovan kick recently because of his
Yeah.
unfortunate passing, and he's got a lot, which is amazing because the Browns have been horrific for my entire life. Um, and he's got a ton, but Fred McLeod's call for LeBron James's poster in Portland in
Oh,
2018
oh
saying he
man, he's
put
so many
Yusuf
good
Nurkic
ones.
on a screensaver. So good.
Dude,
So good.
he was an absolute legend. I was just looking at I also will look at those old highlights and hear Fred. I just saw one. I forget how it even came up. It was just on YouTube. I was just watching like LeBron's like best blocks, and there was one. I don't even know if it was 2014 or 2015, but it was the second LeBron stint, and he blocked. It was against Milwaukee there in overtime. It's like a tie game, 3 seconds left. And he got a game-saving block, and Fred just goes insane. Like, it was such an incredible call. It takes what was
Yeah.
already a great play and elevates it to just a whole nother level.
Dan, I have a tweet about that exactly. Cleveland was blessed to have three amazing announcers, and if you want to
Yeah.
count just radio, Joe Tate for the
Yeah.
Cavs was also one of my favorites as well. I remember listening to LeBron's three over Hito Turkoglu in like 2009 and thinking, "This is I've
This is peak.
ascended." Um, but Fred McLeod, by the way, just to have my crossover, he was the television play-by-play for the Pistons until 2006, from
I didn't even know that.
1984 to 2006. In fact, he
Wow.
did Lions preseason games until he passed away.
I honestly didn't know that. It's pretty sweet.
The connections are just like Detroit
They're
and Cleveland
everywhere.
are like just the same place.
All right, let's see. Holland picking up full court. Has he lived up to any of the defensive expectations? I heard a lot about how great he was on defense, and my little, I'm not a big NBA draft guy, but in my little mini deep dive,
What
I
is the
did find myself,
sequence?
yeah, this is wild.
What is
Oh,
happening? What
it's always
what just
crazy when
happened?
multiple guys fall down in the same possession.
And Taj Gibson couldn't touch the ball, so he's just boxing out the
Ooh,
ball. Ron's a
probably
little
want him just to
rough.
take that shot there in the corner rather than
Yeah.
driving into traffic.
So on the Palace Pistons podcast, my co-host Aaron Johnson is a huge summer league fan. I leave
Mm,
the summer league stuff to him because I can't tune in for all of that all the time. It's like spring training for baseball. I'm like, I don't need to know the 17th pitcher to pitch for the day. It's kind of like that.
mm.
And I leave that to him. And he was pretty adamant that Ron Holland, very jumpy out of the rim, but not a whole lot else. The shot was not there. And
Yeah.
I do think the defensive intensity is needed. He's kind of been that Asar Thompson while Thompson's been out. He provides intensity. He's super athletic. He can hit a three. He's worked on it all summer. The Pistons got Fred Vinson from the Pelicans to be their shooting coach, and he's supposed to be this guru, for fixing guys' shot. And he definitely needed to. He had a lot of work ahead of him with the Pistons, and so he's worked on it. But the athleticism is undeniable. I get why they took him fifth overall. It was not a very good draft, as every pundit
Yeah.
said. But you get a high ceiling guy like Holland who could develop into a good shooter, but he's already got the physical intangibles and the motor that you can't really teach. So I get why they would want to do that.
Yeah, it's easy to talk yourself into those great defensive wings, and like I said at the start, just pray that they develop something on offense. Everyone's looking for their Jaylen Brown, Jimmy Butler, Kawhi Leonard. I don't think Ron Holland's going to be that, but that's just it's easy to convince yourself that you'll find the next one.
Yeah, I mean, look at Patrick Williams was supposed to be baby
Yeah,
Kawhi, and that
mm.
didn't happen.
Okoro got some of that for like a brief second.
Yes, he did.
Oh, a little
Oh, a
trash
little
talking right there at
chippiness.
the end. International incidents. Yeah, Hornets off
All
to
right.
I mean, I wouldn't say either team's off to a good start, but the Hornets are certainly in the lead.
Yep, that was a quarter of basketball.
Brandon Miller Brandon Miller and Cade Cunningham are leading all scorers with 8 points. I do like Brandon Miller's game. I think he just has such a pretty jump shot, such a
Yeah.
smooth looking jumper on him that, with that size too. I'm really interested in him. LaMelo Ball is a player who I just still have no idea what to make of. He's so electric and entertaining, but then he just does some, like, he's 1 of 6 tonight, uh, 3 fouls already. He just needs to build some winning habits. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's taking it seriously enough. He's kind of like a taller, more talented Jordan Poole right now.
Yeah. With upside.
Yeah, with way more upside, obviously,
Yeah,
because
way
he's
more
capable of
upside.
doing insane things. I mean, he's had some to start the year. He had some huge games.
Yes, and you can see the vision there next with him next to um LaMelo. You could see the Brandon Miller LaMelo thing
Yeah,
like it I understand the thinking for it. Um I don't understand the like quite the two-way part yet because I think LaMelo's such a negative defender, but he
mhm,
can be a okay defender because of his size. I just think the Hornets are like one and two pieces away yet still. They have
yeah.
some stuff that's intriguing, but there's also no Miles Bridges today, which I found out on this broadcast and didn't take him out of my fantasy basketball lineup, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. I completely botched my fantasy league this year. I haven't been paying close enough attention. My record's already horrible. So,
I'm 4-0, so
oh, nice.
but the injuries are insane. What do we have a
Yeah,
tech?
it's so tough to keep up with.
So I have Wemby, who's missed the last 2 or 3 games with a leg
Nice.
injury. I have Nick Claxton, whose back is I think busted.
Mm,
I have I have Miles Bridges. I have Emmanuel Quickly, who can't stay healthy to save his life. I don't even know what I'm doing. I have Kevin Durant,
yeah,
who's out.
this is tough.
Um, I'm 4-0, but I'm gonna lose this week. I just have run out of bodies. I have Trey Murphy. I have Brandon Ingram. I have all these guys that just
Oh
won't
my.
play, refuse to
That's
play.
that's actually wild. I think in the fantasy league that we did, Mac Perry drafted I think he took Paul George and Joel Embiid. Maybe I'm wrong. I have to double check, but yeah, that was a big gamble from him. Uh,
That's
I
awful.
I I wish I paid more attention to my league. Maybe I could get back in it. Who knows? Maybe I still have a chance of turning my season around. I just forget to update them, and then you get behind so quick.
That's why
I
you gotta
think
do it
I'm
every day. There's no
yeah.
waivers in this league, so it really is an absolute free for
Oh
all.
man, yeah.
And I thought I was being really smart by like stashing Trey Murphy. Nope, 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 nope. Another guy that everyone said he's Clay Thompson. I'm like that is quite the comparison.
That's a little bold. I like Trey Murphy a lot, but
I like Trey Murphy a lot
wouldn't
too.
put him play. This is good defense right here. Mm. Yeah, you'll live with that if you're the
Yep,
Pistons.
absolutely.
Nice. Yeah, the
I
Pistons
have a
is
6 leg parlay on this game too, so
oh,
let's
oh,
go.
you'll have to share the details of that. The Pistons last year, if I'm correct, just like the worst spacing in the NBA pretty much, right? Just no one who could shoot
Horrendous.
a
Yes,
three-pointer. So having a guy like
horrendous.
Malik Beasley who just pulls a contested, like 25, 26 footer right there,
I think they
has to
were
feel good.
28th in 3-point attempts per game.
Yeah. Yeah, they did not have many guys who could space the floor.
But again, it's like I can't fault Monty entirely because the team that was put together had no shooting. If you're relying on Joe Harris in the year of our Lord 2023 to hoist 8 threes, what are you doing?
Yeah. Couple years late to the Joe Harris train there.
They're actually 18th, or I'm sorry, they're 29th in 3-point attempts last year. 32% of their shots were threes. This year it's up to 37%, so they're
Yeah.
18th.
Nice.
Uh, Still not where I think they want to be, and the Cavs were
Mm.
kind of the same way. JB's
Oh,
offenses were like never where we wanted them to be. Oh goodness.
Ron Holland just airballed a corner three and got a nice call out of Eric Collins right there. As we're talking
Oh
about
Lord.
their slightly improved shooting, he just airmails one. He's
Yeah,
got a long way to go.
he's not the shooter that you're
Yeah.
looking for. I like to see him take it though. Don't lose confidence, and
Definitely, yeah.
they his ceiling is to be that shooter.
One of the only Pistons games that I've watched so far this year was the game when Ron Holland missed the 2 free throws against Milwaukee. That one hurt.
In my Pistons group chat, it was not a good night, and I knew as soon
Mm.
as he missed the first one, I'm like, there's a snowball's chance in hell he's gonna make the second one.
He looked horrified up there.
Frazzled.
The first one like barely hit the front of the rim, if I'm remembering correctly. It was like, oh, this is not looking good.
Nope. And I'm like, they're not gonna win this game. Giannis is not gonna let the Bucks lose after all this.
Yeah, he was great that game. Was that the game he had 50?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
No
he's a monster.
Dame. Everybody
49.
was horrible,
Yeah.
but he had like 58 or 56 or something.
Mm.
And he drilled a three, drilled a pull up two, has steal and a dunk. I'm like, ball game. We can turn this off
Yeah.
now. It's over.
Yeah. Giannis is just incredible, man. I mean, he was dominant against the Cavs in their game too, but they managed to stick it out.
And the Bucks
I
are
like
an interesting team.
the Bucks. The Bucks can hang their hat on not being the worst team in the East anymore, because Philadelphia has just completely bottomed out. Like that, I thought Milwaukee was really hurting there after those 2 losses to the Cavs. They've managed to turn it around, which isn't very surprising. You do have Giannis, which helps quite a lot there, but the rest of the roster is just really lacking. I don't think I don't think they can hang with the best teams in the East at this stage, but Giannis gives you a fighter's chance. So they're really interesting.
So, like, you'd rather be the Milwaukee Bucks this
Definitely.
season than in the position of the Sixers.
Yeah. Their season's
Yeah.
I won't say it's over because it's still November, but I mean, man, they're already 10 games under 500. Paul George keeps getting hurt. Embiid doesn't look great when he is on the floor. Uh, yeah, the vibes are all bad. Embiid's getting called out by his teammates. It's a very tough scene over there.
Like, just nothing works. And it's crazy. Like, George has looked bad. Embiid is what he is. Tyrese Maxey's the adult in the room.
At
It's just
24, the
crazy.
youngest of the
Right.
bunch. Tobias Harris knew it was time to jump ship. He had to get on the next dynasty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we'll
Oof,
see.
that was tough. They could
That
have
was
waited
good
a little
timing for you
longer
to say
for me to say
dynasty.
that. Yeah. I like Trey Man bringing back the baggy shorts.
Yes.
The
Oh
early
god.
2000s look. All right, Pistons.
Yeah, the
Get
Jeff
into a tight
McGinnis
game here.
look for everyone that's old enough to know about that.
Got the N1 headband on.
Yep. Oh,
Tough
oh,
shot. Tough
okay.
shot. You had Grant Williams on an island there. I thought Ivy might just try to take him, but you'll take another 3-pointer from Beasley.
And that's why they get him.
Yeah.
They just didn't have that kind of player to do that last year. Oh,
Ooh, that was a monster rebound. Are they scrapping again? Another dust up? I didn't see what happened that time. I just saw a bunch of players converge.
you were a tech for Stu. So if you'll remember from that Bucks Pistons game, Stewart got ejected for attack against Giannis,
Mm,
and he's known for being the tough guy.
yeah. Yeah, I remember him trying to trying everything in his power to get to
After
LeBron in
LeBron,
that
yes.
classic video. Had 18 people holding him back.
Yes.
4-point possession. The Karis LeVert and Jordan Clarkson
Specialty.
staple. Oof.
Traveled.
Yeah.
Simone.
There's a good look at JB there. All right. Well, we've talked about the Pistons and we're watching the Pistons, so it's valid. But you also, right for Fear the Sword, the Cleveland
I do.
Cavaliers happen to be having a pretty dang good start to the year. What are some of your takeaways there from that 15-0 start? The Cavs frog. We got so many things to talk about Cavs related. What's
Yeah.
been your takeaway?
Backup point guard seems to be fixed.
Ty
Ty
Jerome
Jerome
saving the
turned
day.
into a complete stud, and even Craig Porter Jr. came in, stepped in that game against
I like
Boston.
to
I think he
hear.
drilled 3 threes, and
Take that, Jackson.
um, that was one of the backup point guard and backup center were the 2 areas I think coming into the year that you had to be a little concerned about. Not because Ty Jerome, was bad or anything, but he didn't play all last year. And Craig Porter Jr.
Mm,
was an undrafted rookie at Wichita State. So, how much can you really put on his shoulders for a team that was angling to go deep into the playoffs? That seems to be solved. Ty Jerome has channeled whatever he had at the University of Virginia and seems to be fine. Not only
mm.
fine, but thriving. He, dropped 29 yesterday against the
Yeah,
Pels?
29 in the first half. I think he might have finished with 29, but all in the first half.
I mean, something that the Cavs just didn't have a whole lot of last year was that kind of super depth. CPJ was pretty good for what he
For
was
stretch. Yeah, for a stretch, he was really
for a
good, and then he
stretch.
kinda
Yeah.
trailed off there.
And, he played above what I think anybody expected him to do.
Definitely.
So, I mean, you can't fault him too much, but Ty Jerome's been great. I'm still concerned about backup center because
Mm,
Tristan Thompson spooks me.
yeah.
I know that they might just be saving him to, rough teams up in the playoffs, but I think that they could explore backup center at the deadline. I don't know what that looks like. Maybe it's Chris
Maybe
Boucher.
maybe James Wiseman makes a return.
No, please no. Please no, don't. Marvin Bagley, no, stay away.
Yeah. I'm cautiously optimistic about JT Thor potentially being able to eat up some minutes at backup later in the year, because this is a guy who has been like an actual standard NBA player. It obviously didn't work for him in Charlotte, but he's got size, he's got athleticism. If it comes down to would I rather be giving him minutes in the back half of the year, or do I want to rely on Tristan Thompson? Tristan, obviously, he's old, reliable. Came in, had a double-double yesterday against the Pelicans skeleton crew. But I'm, again, cautiously into JT Thor just because he's got the size. He's a great shot blocker. Doesn't have the best defensive instincts. That's kind of the problem there. But he's got the raw tools to do that stuff. And he's got a little bit of three-point shooting. He's only 22. Again, I'm not expecting him to be a difference maker by any means. But if it's him or Tristan, like let's say they're not able to add anything else to this roster, I could see JT Thor maybe getting the call up and earning a standard contract later in the year if it comes down to it. But that's one benefit of having Allen and Mobley is that
Right.
the backup big. It's important, but you can get away with some things that other teams can't.
And Jackson can attest to this too, because we talked, or at least heard from JT Thor during Charge Media Day, and the one of the things he was working on a lot was pick and pop, because that's what he'd likely be doing a lot of up with the Cavs. So he
Mm,
does have some of that 3-point shooting, and the Cavs are good enough that they could have their seating locked up, kind of early, or be able to have a game where JT Thor is just an innings eater occasionally, and it's nice to have that as well. I would like to see them explore backup center, like a Chris Boucher type of guy with the
mm.
Raptors. He's with the Raptors still, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. And but can't argue with 15-1, 16-1. So
Yeah.
Dan says for now,
he's
yes.
still with the Raptors, yeah. All right, LaMelo just hit the deep three there in the last possession. He's spamming the dribble moves. Let's see if he gets himself going. Brandon Miller's having a decent start to the game here. Tough shot. Don't love that for him.
No. So Ivy, he's got 3 fouls.
Nice pass there. Nice.
That's what you expect and want. And actually, Tobias was excited to come back to Detroit. Pistons fans are getting clowned for being excited to spend so much money on Tobias Harris, but
hey, you got to spend it somewhere.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, that dude's had some great rebounds. LaMelo. Oof. He is such a special shooter. I mean, he might be the most, like, I don't want to be hyperbolic, but in terms of just off balance, awkward 3-pointers, he's like already one of the best to ever do it. It's unbelievable how he gets some of these shots off.
Ooh.
Good take there.
With what looks like seemingly very little lift. He's just hoisting them.
He just hoisted up. The jumper doesn't even really look good in terms of his mechanics.
No.
Most of the time he's not set. He's not even like, look at this. That's a gross looking shot, but he does it with so much frequency and high value.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Diabate. He's had a good start here. He's got some big rebounds already. I think he played decent against the Cavs too, if I remember.
I will check. I think he did too.
He's got 9 rebounds already here in 14 minutes.
Jalen Duren, impressive human being.
Got around the corner there. Nice defense to break it up.
His wrist.
Oh. Okay, Pistons ball.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with Cade Cunningham's 3-point shot? Where do you think it stands? He's 0-4 to start tonight.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to fully evaluate his 3-point shooting because his usage is so unbelievably high in every other
He's not getting
category.
many easy looks.
No, he doesn't. His 3-point frequency's down a little bit this year. The percentage is, I mean, he's shooting 38% from 3.
It's not bad.
But the frequency, he's at he's like the 19th percentile, I think is what it is. Yeah, he's in the 19th percentile. Not great, but his ability to slither into the lane and get to his spots is just so valuable. It's almost more valuable, and it's more valuable now that you have guys like
guys who can help out there in space.
Right, Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway, who could shoot and take threes. Last year was a little bit more glaring because he was the only guy, and I think in talking about Jaden Ivy's that's where he needs to improve as well. Is as a 3-point shooter, not just in his 3-point make percentage, which is not great, but its frequency. He's still not taking enough threes, and you can't have both of your backcourt guys not taking enough threes. I mean, look at the Cavs. Garland and Mitchell could get hot at any moment, or both at the same time. You can't have Jaden Ivey not taking threes next to Cade Cunningham also not taking threes. It's just not going to be, the offense just won't work.
Yeah, there's not many starting backcourts that don't have, floor spacers making up both those positions there. The Hornets back-to-back threes there to end that little stretch. Brandon Miller hit a tough one. He's 4 of 5 from deep already. Grant Williams kind of walled off Cade there, a little bit of an awkward turnover, but yeah, a quick little burst there from Charlotte, take an 8-point lead.
The Hornets right now have a offensive rating of 128.9.
Oof, dang, that Pistons
Aye.
defense. That Pistons
Yeah.
defense gotta step up a little bit.
Yeah. I don't have the box score pulled up. How many turnovers does Detroit have? I feel like they're
Let me see.
that's one of their issues
They
this
have
season
8
has
so
been
far, and then there's
okay.
3:50 left in the second quarter.
Yeah. It's a little high. I mean, that's kind of what you get with a pretty young backcourt too, is you're just gonna have guys making mistakes, and
Mm.
Cade's usage is so high. It's like they don't have any other option than to just force the ball into his hands and see what happens, and that's just going to lead to mistakes. And
Mm.
it's an ongoing problem for the Pistons is the turnovers. There's just too many of them, and especially in crunch time. Tony, what do you think about the Cavs start? You've got YouTube. You've
Yeah.
got you were the clip guy. I had somebody ask me when are you coming to Blue Sky so you could start to put Cavs clips on the timeline. What are your thoughts on the team?
Well, I did. I arrived on Blue Sky, so if anyone wants to follow me over there, it's the same as Twitter. It's just Tony_Pesta. But yeah, I mean, hey, it's hard to find anything to complain about, right? I mean, they've just been so damn good. You've had here's the thing that I keep saying. Entering this year, Cavs fans, we were hoping for certain things, right? We were hoping Darius Garland would have a bounce back year. We were hoping that Evan Mobley would make some sort of leap, whatever it may be, just show some growth. We wanted to
Yep.
see the bench improve. We wanted to see Kenny Atkinson have a little bit of an impact. If we would have gotten one or two of those things to happen, we would have been happy. We've gotten everything has gone right. Basically everyone on the roster is having the best start to a season in their career. Donovan maybe isn't, but he hasn't even been needed. They haven't had to rely on him in that way. Mobley's making a leap. Garland seems like he's back. I know the Boston game was we could ignore that for right now, but
Ruined my parlay. Darius.
it was maybe the worst game he's ever played. It was really rough, but all around, they've just been so good. Like you mentioned, Ty Jerome. I just did a YouTube video on him today, so I have a couple of these stats pulled up here. He's leading the NBA in three-point percentage right now at 55%. He's hitting 70% of his step-back jumpers, 66% of his pull-up attempts, and he's in the 98th percentile for jump shots overall. The dude is just on a scorcher. Obviously, that's going to come down at least a little bit. He's not shooting 70% on step backs all year. But the big thing there is that he has no problem just being the backup point guard, like a traditional, I'm going to play, make, and set up others if he doesn't have it going. He's not a loose cannon. He's not going to jack up shots if he doesn't have it falling. He just picks his nights where he has it rolling, and we saw yesterday, he can just keep pouring it on when he has it going. I didn't know that he was that good of a three-point shooter. I knew he was efficient. I didn't know he could pull up from 30 feet the way he has been. It's been wild.
Yeah, I don't think anybody expected Ty Jerome to be this. I don't think Ty Jerome expected it.
Well, don't say that too soon, because Jackson asked him, and Ty Jerome gave him a snarky response. I guess he couldn't believe that someone thought that he doubted himself. So
it's not because he can't ever be that, but having an injury, like a nagging ankle injury that just doesn't go away the entire season, he misses the whole year. I mean, no one could blame him for having slight trepidation about being physically where he wants to be, but he's come out absolutely firing.
Yeah, he's been much better and I was, high on him compared to some other Cavs fans, but I didn't think he was going to be this good. He's just been incredible, man. Both sides of the floor
incredible.
Too. It's so much fun to watch. And he's really he's had a trickle down effect too, because now Donovan and Darius, their load is a little lighter. They're not playing as many minutes. You're able to rely on him as a backup point guard. And Karis LeVert is also having a great season. And part of that is because Ty Jerome can handle a lot of those ball handling responsibilities that would lead to some of the more erratic and bad nights from LeVert when he was being relied on a little too much. He's been able to simplify his game a little bit, and a big part of that is because Ty Jerome is able to do all of the stabilizing things for that
Right.
second unit, and Karis LeVert can just be Karis LeVert when his time is called.
Yep. An underrated thing is how good Karis LeVert has been. He's been the punching
So
bag for
good.
so many Cavs fans, but he's been good.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, he might be having the best start. I'm sure statistically he's had better starts to a season, but just the two-way play that LeVert has been
Yep.
showing, he's been so damn good.
Dan, it's interesting that you mentioned that because when I was doing player previews for Fear the Sword, when we signed Ty Jerome, I said he was Ricky Rubio light, kind of the slow type of player. Nope, off. Kind of a slower type of guy who isn't going to like wow you with his speed or athleticism, but he just gets to his spots. He shot the three ball pretty well in Golden State, if I'm not mistaken, with Kenny Atkinson.
Yeah,
And
I think 40%.
yeah, so he had kind of all the things that Ricky Rubio like did really well with the Cavs when everyone fell in love with him. When him and Darius were like the best two-man lineup in the NBA or whatever it was that crazy
They
first
were
season.
just decimating teams with that lineup.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I said he was kind of Rubio-esque. I could not have
I like the
predicted this.
comp. Yeah, I thought he was going to be Walmart diet Rubio, but he's been
Right.
doing a pretty damn good Rubio impersonation. And he's also, I mentioned this on yesterday's playback stream when we were watching him, because he's been like really good in the paint too, which has been a little surprising. The Eurosteps, just the craftiness. He's finishing 66% of his attempts in the paint. And 60% of his floaters. He's like a very slow Tony Parker down there with some of the Euro steps and these crafty finishes. Not just to keep throwing random comparisons out, but it's just his game is so funny. it's
It is.
incredible the way he's playing.
He's like point guard Kyle Anderson.
Yeah, I mean, he moves in slow mo. He's one thing that I think is a little underrated. He's strong, even though he's a smaller guard. Well, he's not small actually, 6'5", but he's just strong. Like he just threw one of the Pelicans defenders off him on a drive yesterday, and I think that's helping him when it comes to the percentages he's shooting in the paint. All right,
We
let's see
got
what the Hornets
25
here.
seconds left.
It's a close game. We'll lock in more play-by-play for the second half here. Grant Williams.
Grant Williams.
Don't want to get beat on a drive by Grant. Nice defense right there.
No.
Nice job by Cade to recover.
And he can be a good defender when he wants to.
Yeah. Pull up.
Star.
Ooh, in and out. All right, Pistons down by 4 going into halftime. How are you feeling? Do you think they're gonna pull this one out?
I do, and that's not because I have their money line.
Yeah,
but
gotta manifest it.
I do think they will. Jaden Ivey was in foul trouble in the first half. They weathered a 3-point barrage from the Hornets. I think they'll be okay.
We have on the YouTube chat, he says, Cade is turning the ball over, no 3-ball, getting killed on offensive boards, no defense, and Ivy is fouling. So I don't think he might not agree with you that they're going to.
No. he might not, and that's fair. Those are things that Cade's had an issue with all season long. Is the 3-ball comes and goes, and the turnovers are just so high. And on the Palace Pistons podcast, when we were talking about Cade having the turnover struggles, I tried to redirect people to think about, remember Colin Sexton, remember Darius Garland. When learning how to be a point guard is like learning how to be a quarterback in the NFL. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time. The speed of the game is a lot different. The decision making is those windows close a lot faster. You got to have snappier decisions, but his usage is just so high that there's just almost no way of avoiding it. It's gotten better this year because you got better players around him. They're able to translate those passes into. Look, Jackson talking about Russell Wilson. Anyway, moving swiftly along from that. it just takes time for point guards, and Cade's gotten better and better every single season. The turnovers are a little worrisome. Um, we talked about on the podcast, though, is Cade going to make his first All Star game this year? And I play a buy or sell game with my two co-hosts, and one person bought it, said yes, he's going to make it. One person sold it and said it's not happening this year. The East is too deep. Tony, what do you think?
I just saw. I think Kenny Meacham had his All-Star prediction video, and I only saw the thumbnail that had Cade Cunningham on it. So I was actually thinking about this just a little bit today. I'd have to say the East is probably too deep, but I'm not completely selling it. I have to let me run down some of the. Let me take a look at the East real quick. Because he could definitely get himself in there, especially if they're playing like 500 basketball by the All-Star break. If they manage to, like, if they're not just a complete horrible team at that point, we'll have to see, obviously. But winning goes a long way for this. I mean, you got Darius Garland, who could very well be in there. Donovan Mitchell's a lock, so let's go over locks. Donovan Mitchell for sure. Jalen Brunson. I don't know. Tyrese Halliburton, he's not really playing all that great, so I don't
Ugh,
know. I don't know anymore. Trey Young, maybe a
gonna
lock.
make it.
Seems like he always makes it. So that's three already. Uh, Tyrese Maxey, maybe he turns it around. He could be in there.
Ty
Oh,
Jerome, as Jackson said.
Ty Jerome, of course, all-star starter.
Ty Jerome having a David Fry season.
Damian Lillard made it last year. I don't imagine he makes it this year. Zach LaVine's playing well. Now that I run down it, I mean, LaMelo Ball could be in there, but now that I run down the list, it actually does seem like maybe he will have a better chance than I thought. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's tough to predict with how loaded the All-Star teams are nowadays.
It's tough, especially with the format.
Oh yeah,
And he's
that
because it's new, right?
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing Cade get in there. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Cade's
I have
averaging
a
23, 8, and 7 right now.
that's if he's on a
I mean,
team that's
that's
close to
pretty good.
500, like that's I could definitely see him getting in there. Hopefully, if they are playing good basketball at that point, hopefully he gets rewarded for it. And like I would not to hate on Damian Lillard, but like last year, it felt like he just it's a reputation thing. Like Damian Lillard
Correct.
makes the All-Star game because he's always an
Yeah.
All-Star. It would be a shame if someone like Cade Cunningham got snubbed off of like a reputation pick. So
I would go on the record and say that's absolutely going to happen.
that I wouldn't be
Absolutely going to
surprised.
happen.
I would not be surprised. I've been thinking this isn't a direct comparison, so I don't want it to be a direct comp or anything, but because the Pistons have been such a lackluster team throughout Cade's career so far, I feel like he obviously doesn't get as much attention or anything like that. Obviously, Jackson said that he sucks. I'm sure Jackson's joking there, but he kind of it could remind me almost of a Devin Booker situation where he was on the Suns and they sucked for so long and no one really took him seriously. They thought maybe he's just an empty stats player. And then when they finally put a team around him, you realize, whoa, Devin Booker's amazing. Will Cade Cunningham ever be that? Like Devin Booker's an all NBA player, all NBA caliber player. So will he be that good? Not necessarily making that comparison, but I think you could see a similar thing happen maybe as the Pistons hopefully continue to build around him and they become a more competitive team. Maybe we see a similar thing there and his reputation changes. As Jackson said, he doesn't think he's that guy. Maybe he is that guy if he has a team around him. We'll see.
And
People said the same thing about Booker.
that's the real problem with Cade is that the Pistons have been so bad with him, and it's not even his fault. They can't even make any justifications like is the backcourt is that the pairing that's going to take them into the playoffs and beyond. They just don't have that kind of information. Monty Williams refused to start Jay Ivey start the year. He started Killian Hayes over him to talk about the malpractice of Monty Williams. And
It's crazy.
Cade was injured the year before that. So they have like absolutely no information to even make a decision on if that backcourt pairing works. So it's hard to even say he's the guy or he's not the guy because they haven't put a good enough team around him to see if he can be that guy. And I think this is the first year that they have enough vets around him and enough information um, to even get close to making a decision. I don't think they're going to break up
Yep.
Ivy and Cade unless something dramatic happens throughout the rest of the season. But I've said like 3 years in a row that this is the year where they evaluate what works. And then, Cade has a shin injury and this is the season. Okay. This is the season where we figure out what happens. Oh, Monty's starting Killian Hayes and Marvin Bagley. Okay, okay, okay. Wait. This now is the season to determine what works. And I think you're actually getting that now with JB and a guy like Trajan Langdon as the GM who can actually make those decisions and they're not like pseudo sabotaging the team accidentally.
Yeah. To respond to Jackson's son slander in the chat, which I'm used to at this point, Booker is definitely that guy. Okay, he was on it. He took them to the finals. They've been a really good team the last X amount of years. I know they're falling off a little bit here because they're decimated by injuries, but Booker's definitely an all NBA caliber guy. So
And Dan, we were very happy on the Palace of Pistons podcast when the Pistons went and got Monty. I thought that is a bold move. Kevin Ollie, I was not a Kevin Ollie fan, and there was a lot of rumors of them going and getting Kevin Ollie, and I was not happy about that. But I thought Monty Williams, that's bold. That's Tom Gores, the team owner, opening his pocketbook and getting a coach with a huge pedigree. Turned out Monty just got paid, and they gave him so much money that he couldn't say no, like could not physically say no, and it didn't work out. But we all thought that was the coach. We thought it was perfect. He's a former point guard, teaching a rising point guard. Couldn't be better. Wrong, completely wrong. So wrong.
it was definitely a good shot to take. Like it made all the sense in the world at the time. But the NBA sports, it's unpredictable. You never know what's really going to work out or not.
Right.
They can't
It's
all be
not
Kenny
it's not my
Atkinson.
money, so have at it, Tom Gores. You can pay him for the next 5 years. It's essentially paying him the same amount as Greg Popovich. Have at it. Jackson, don't worry. I have a Browns and Steelers parlay as well. Yeah, I wonder if we're going to lose a viewer for Browns Steelers. Jackson, I put the parlay into effect, the exact one that I said in our chat, which was Najee Harris and Nick Chubb anytime touchdown, and Pat Freiermuth touchdown, and the Steelers cover, or it's the Steelers money line. I think it was like plus 3,000. So I'm really hoping.
All right, I have a Cavs Pistons connection question
Okay.
for you. If you could take one Cavalier, you can't take any of the usual starting five. So the core four and Strus are off limits, but you can have one member of the Cavs join this Pistons team. Who are you picking? Is it Dean Wade? Is he the clear favorite here?
Who was off limits?
Just the usual starting five. So the core four and
Oh,
Max Strus, you can't have them, but you can have anyone on the bench. Karis LeVert, maybe? Dean Wade? Sam Merrill?
Karis LeVert would be so loved because he's a Michigan man,
Yeah.
but he's also a Columbus man.
Is the best of both worlds there.
Uh, yeah, Wade probably. I mean, look, Isaac Okoro was almost a Detroit Piston. Um, maybe Ty Jerome because they really don't have a backup point guard. If you're getting this version of Ty Jerome, I mean, honestly, the Pistons
Hell
don't
yeah.
have a backup point guard. They have Marcus Sasser, who I've been very vocal about as not being a good point guard at all. He's a shooting guard by trade, and he's just not good enough to be a backup point guard. He can't run an offense. You saw during the Pistons Cavs preseason game, they're just going at him. I mean, Donovan Mitchell's hard to stop, but everybody was just going right at Marcus Sasser. So maybe it's this version of Ty Jerome as the guy that can kind of spell Cade Cunningham and the offense doesn't crater. I think Dean Wade would probably be up there though too. They could really use a 3-and-D stretch four type guy very badly.
Yeah, I can't blame you for thinking Ty Jerome there because he's legitimately in the race for sixth man of the year at this point. It's very, very early, obviously, but
Yeah,
if he keeps playing like this, I mean, damn, that's a great pickup. Obviously, an area of need. Dean Wade, like if we're getting theoretical Dean Wade, like the version of Dean Wade that we
correct.
get for like a week at a time every once in a while, he's also a perfect fit for Detroit. But yeah, it just kind of
Yeah,
comes down to the same question as always with Dean Wade. It's just the consistency. Here's another question that I had for you. What
yeah.
happened with Lamar Stevens?
I
They
don't
cut
know.
him.
I don't know.
They cut him after he played
He's
incredible.
on the Motor City Cruise G League team.
Okay, so he's still with the franchise in
He's
some
still
way.
with the
Okay.
franchise. I don't know. I thought, oh, JB's gonna love this. He's gonna be
JB's
in the starting
guy,
lineup somehow.
he torched the Cavs in preseason and then got cut an hour later. I was like, no way.
Yeah, and they had an open roster spot too. I didn't understand that move entirely either, but
No
um,
loyalty from JB there.
no loyalty. I
No, I
I was always a Lamar Stevens fan. I thought he worked his way into a position of like that like little midi that he had just worked.
money.
He was like
If he
good at
could just take
three
that shot
things.
every time, he would be like a 20-point per game scorer. Just get him that fall away in the mid range.
Yeah, if he played in like the 60s, he's in the Hall of Fame, probably.
Yeah,
He's the toughest dude
average like
ever.
15 rebounds a game.
Right.
The
It's funny.
OG
Every time
junkyard dog.
that is absolutely correct. The original Junkyard Dog. And it's crazy because there were calls for him to start during the I forget which season it was because there was just no energy on the team at all. And they're like,
Yeah,
just put Lamar Stevens in, put him in.
I
Good things
remember
happen. I
I was begging for him in the New York series. I was like, just put him in there
Yeah,
at this point.
exactly.
We're getting punked everywhere. There's no energy. Put in the one guy who you know is going to give you energy. And I think
Yeah.
JB finally did press that button. And if I remember correctly, it's been a while, but I feel like those minutes went kind of decent, and then he just never played him again. Which I mean, listen, Lamar Stevens has plenty of limitations, so it's understandable.
Yeah.
But the one thing you know is that dude's going to try hard, which is always nice to have.
Yep. He's gonna go in and inject some life into whatever lineup he's in. And it might work out. He might just be doing cardio out there, but he'll at least be doing it energetically. Yes,
With intention.
correct. He like is what he is and is not shy about that. And he's going to go in and kind of like Tristan Thompson. It's like Tristan Thompson is what he is at this point in his career. He's going to bang around down in the paint. He's probably not going to be very good, but he is what he is.
All right, let's lock in here for the Taj Gibson second half minutes. He had 0 points. He had zero everything, but he did pick up one assist and one foul.
I don't know.
So it's
So it wasn't a full Tony Snell.
it's a very effective run there for Taj.
Another Pistons legend, Tony Snell. I feel like both offenses were good statistically that half. No. Charlotte was in the 90th percentile. Detroit's kind of middling there at 55th percentile, according to cleaning the glass.
Hmm. Yeah, Detroit shot 29% from deep there.
Yeah.
That got to pick that up a little bit. But both teams put up points in 59, 69, or 63 to 59. It's not a bad opening half there for both teams.
I saw the Pistons were 3 for 13 from deep in the first quarter.
Oh,
That can't possibly be right. 13 at 3-point attempts the first quarter. Wow, no. Chris Boswell missed a field goal. Anywho,
Taj Gibson
moving.
starting the half here. I think It looked like Diabate was injured, maybe. My stream kind of froze for a second, so I couldn't hear what the announcers were
Oh, really?
saying. But it looked like maybe he was injured. Or is he out? No, he's not out there. Taj Gibson, this is your time to shine. Oh, look at the intimidator on Cade just blew the layup because he felt Taj on his back.
Let's see.
That was a late foul. I honestly didn't even realize they called a foul. I got up to open a window real quick. Yeah, Dan, that was him near the locker room. I thought the announcers were saying something, but my stream froze. I wonder what happened. Right at
Trying
the
to
start of the
look for it on social. Oh, look, Defensive Player of the Year Myles Garrett had a sack on Russell Wilson. That's a shame. Anyway. So who was tasked with that foul? Was Brandon Miller?
Yeah, I believe
Or
so.
was Grant Williams given the foul?
I think they gave it to Miller.
Oh.
And he hit the shot. Just for good measure.
I like Charles Lee finally getting his chance.
No, he's back on the bench now.
Yep, there we go.
The Taj Gibson short roll, making a good read right there. Nice.
Jackson's really not here because he didn't even comment on the Myles Garrett comment.
Yeah, he's abandoned us. Didn't look great. Ball got deflected right there.
Yeah, Ivy's pass got deflected. Duran
Duran
bites on the Grant Williams pump fake.
Took him to school. Ooh, see, at that point, you just got to rise up and take the jumper. You're already there, already committed. Wow. That was a quick release.
Time for a JB timeout.
Yep. 5 3-pointers for Brandon Miller. Yeah, Grant Williams caught him a bird.
We had another question on the pod where I said buy or sell that Jaden Ivey's done enough to be considered the future backcourt partner for Cade Cunningham, and one person bought it, one person sold it. And it's some of these games like what Ivey's having where he gets himself into foul trouble. The turnovers are still problematic. He's not shooting the basketball well. It's just hard to trust him to be that backcourt mate for Cade Cunningham. And that's one of the things that the Pistons are going to have to look at for the whole season. Not saying they trade Jaden Ivey at the deadline. Some people were saying trade him for Zach LaVine. I hate that, badly. But at the same time, it's like I get the fear of him not developing as the guy next to Cade.
Yeah, in my uneducated Detroit Pistons opinion, I would definitely say that, I wouldn't be actively searching for a trade for him, but I wouldn't say that he's outright earned the long-term spot next to Cade either. I think there's still a lot to prove. But again, I'm not like desperately searching to get him off the team. I think with this team right now, you have a little bit of time to see where they can go together. But yeah, he's having a rough game here. He's 2 points, 0 of 3 shooting. He's got 4 assists, but 3 turnovers, 3 fouls. Not great. Jalen Duren's minus 22 right now. He's by far the worst in the starting lineup here. 0 points, 5 rebounds, 1 steal. Like to see him make a little bit more of an impact there.
He's a negative 22?
Yeah, minus 22.
Oh.
Isaiah Stewart's plus 12 in contrast. He's the only, oh no, there's a couple guys who are plus off the bench.
Another buy or sell we had was buy or sell Isaiah Stewart's the best option the Pistons have at center right now, and it was unanimous. We all bought it. And I think that's still the case. I mean, yes, he's undersized. Jalen Duren puts up Andre Drummond-esque numbers of like 15 points, 22 rebounds,
Carrying the torch.
but he's a minus 30 in a game, or he's a minus 17 in a game, and this the counting stats are there. But Isaiah Stewart just like makes good things happen when he's on the court, and Jalen Duren doesn't quite do that.
So it's basically Stewart is just the more reliable option there, it sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, he's a better rim protector than Jalen Duren, which is crazy to say considering the size difference. And he knows what he is, and he can stretch the floor just a tiny bit. I mean, he is a little bit of a stretch forward, a stretch four, and that makes a big difference when you don't have a guy like Malik Beasley or Tim Hardaway in the lineup, and you do need a little bit of offense. But Duren is just so limited. And if he's not being an adequate rim protector, then you're really hemorrhaging on both sides of the basketball.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's got Taj Gibson
Tobias coming up
out there
limping
against him. So, oh yeah. See if he can walk it off.
maybe a groin. Oh, wow.
Hustle play from Charlotte right there. That hurts. They're on a bit of a run here. But back to Duren, as I was saying, like you have Taj Gibson on you this game. You got to be able to do more than what he's showing right now. So, I mean, Taj Gibson coming up with steal here. Hornets on a run.
Stop and start. Goaltending. Oh, a foul.
He got hit with the Darius Garland. Hit him in the face.
Yeah, that's the Darius Garland specialty.
He's only been hit in the face. I think he's only been hit in the face once this year, as far as I've seen. But it was twice on the same play, so it was a 2-for-1.
Brandon Miller hurt.
Going back. That would be unfortunate. He's got it going tonight.
Levine is a Laker if the Bulls weren't cowards. Well, the Bulls are cowards. And the Lakers are also cowards, so nothing's happening.
The Lakers need to get off of D'Angelo Russell, in my opinion. They should have bit the bullet long ago. I don't think that's going to work for them long term. I just don't see it working out. And conversely, I think the Bulls need to bite the bullet and just rebuild already. You don't want to be stuck in the play-in for multiple years in a row. It's a good step for a young team to take. I just don't know what the game plan is for Chicago.
Purgatory is the worst place to be in the NBA.
Exactly. You gotta just accept your loss at some point. I thought maybe with DeRozan being gone, they were going to finally take the step here, and maybe they still do. Levine playing pretty well to start the year. Maybe that's boosting his trade value, make him a tradable asset again. And it does make sense for the Lakers to go after him, but I just don't know. I don't know if either party will make it work there.
I mean, take your loss with the Vooch trade and just they should have rebuilt like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
at this point.
They could have been 3 years into a rebuild. Instead, they've just kind of been stuck in purgatory. The worst thing is they're in the play-in every yeay and they still haven't even gotten out. They're in there for no reason, basically.
Yeah.
They're just getting torched by Miami every year.
Have they been in the play-in since its inception every year?
I'm pretty sure. I don't. We could probably find out, but I think they have been. Maybe not I don't remember.
Didn't they play Atlanta? Oh no,
That's what I was wondering. Did they play Atlanta the year that the Cavs lost in the play-in?
I don't know. We were pretty close to COVID.
Either way, I know they've been in it the last 2 years, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Yep. Either way, they should have absolutely not stuck with what they have.
Didn't they also give up
Grief.
a pick in the Giddy trade, or am I misremembering that? Did they get a pick, or did they give one up?
I don't remember.
Because
That
that
was
was
such
another
a
thing where
not.
if you're
No, I
trading
think it was straight
Caruso,
up
okay, I wasn't sure.
because I remember being outraged. Yeah, it was. It was a straight up
Okay,
Giddy
yeah,
for Alex Caruso.
that's just, I mean,
What is this offense? Okay, here we go.
all right. Oh, we got a shimmy.
What a bizarre first 5 minutes. So what? Why were you covering Golden State? Just wanted to.
So that was back early years with Fansided. I was a volunteer writer for a while at King James Gospel. And then the former editor there, Nathan, he left and became the site editor at Blue Man Hoop, which was the Warriors site. And he was
Nice.
like,
Yep.
we need another site editor. And I said, hey, screw it. I'll do it. It's a paid position. It's blog money, so it's not a lot of money. But I was
Yep.
like, hey, I'll go from a volunteer to actually getting paid to write about the team. Why not? So there was a curve there of like, this was 2018. This was the year they added DeMarcus Cousins. So 2019, I think.
Yes. The
Uh,
Woj. Good Lord. Or
yes,
right.
and yeah, I
Yeah.
believe so. I'm pretty sure it was after LeBron. It was after LeBron had already left, so that helped because it went. I was a Warriors hater, as most people in Cleveland were.
Sure.
So to go from that to covering them was a little bit difficult, but the fact that the rivalry was essentially dead made it easier. And I found myself. This is going to be a bad thing to admit as a Cavs fan, but I found
All right.
myself
Let's go.
I enjoyed their 22 championship run because I was covering the team all the way up until 2023. And I remember in entering that season, the 22 season, I wrote stories saying like, hey, the 21-22 season, they might actually be good this year. They might actually be good. And I remember getting all the comments. It was so funny because I would get comments calling me like a biased Warriors fan. I'm like, buddy, like, I do not like this team, but I think they're going to be
Right.
good. And so it almost in a way like tricked me into rooting for them that year because I'm like, all right, well now I just want to be proven right that I first off I'm not a Warriors fan, but I had a feeling they were going to be good, and now they won the championship. So it was like I felt vindicated at least by that run when otherwise I would have just been sickened. But yeah, it was a very interesting experience writing about the Warriors those years. I do think it made me I think it helped me grow as a writer and as someone covering the NBA because I was forced to put away any bias that I had against the Warriors and just try to objectively watch them. And I think it went a long way towards helping.
You know, I wasn't happy with their championship in 22, but it came at the expense of Boston, so
So that
I
helps too.
allowed it to
That was
go.
another
Yeah.
that's another factor. If
It
it
lets
had
it
been against
slide.
a team that I liked, I probably wouldn't have been rooting for them. I wouldn't even say I was
Correct.
rooting for them necessarily. I just
I was
remember
rooting for nobody, to be
yeah,
honest.
the only thing I liked was being vindicated in my preseason takes. But yeah, uh, that finals was that was a gross matchup for Cavs fans. There wasn't much to be
Yeah,
happy about there.
no, no. Jordan Poole going nuts in the
Yeah.
clinching game was pretty funny though.
Well, he hit like a couple half court shots throughout that
Yeah, he went
series.
nuts.
I remember actually, so that was the year that I graduated college, and me and a couple friends went to LA that summer. And so we watched the Warriors game, not the clinching game. I think it might have been game 3 or game 4, like at a bar in LA. And so it's LA, not San Francisco, but it was still full of
Right.
Warriors fans. And I was like, wow, I've never been in a room where it was all Warriors fans rooting for the Warriors during a game. I felt very out of place.
Sorry, LaMelo is going insane.
Yeah, with they're hitting the Cavaliers right now.
And then he does a stupid foul.
21-8 this quarter. He's up to 28.
He's got 10.
Floater in the lane, and then that step back almost on the sideline. He's
Step
so
back
far
3.
off. I mean, he's for as many criticisms as you can launch at him, he really is a special talent.
He is. There's
So
no
much skill
denying
there.
that. Yep.
Do you think the Pistons can respond, or is this a knockout blow being delivered right now? Oh man, he's dicing up this defense right now.
Yep. 19-point game.
The top 10 Pistons defense is getting exposed right now.
Yeah.
All right, stop the run. Stop the bleeding a little bit.
Just gets to his spots and just looks so fluid. It's crazy.
Duren is a minus 26 now.
He
was not even on the floor right now. So that
replaced by
happened
Beefs
earlier.
too.
Yeah. Oh my God, no way. Front of the rim. Almost got his own board.
Hit in the face.
Draws a foul. Yeah, now Tim Hardaway's a minus 24. Cade's a minus 20. Isaiah Stewart's still plus 9. I don't usually pay much attention to the plus minuses, but
yeah, plus minus is
on a game-to-game basis.
It's a flawed stat.
Yep. Yeah, just clocked him right there.
Sasser, is that the first time he's been on the court? He goes in and he just hits LaMelo in the nose.
Quite literally his first minute right there. The enforcer, Marcus Sasser, coming in to stop the run.
Oh.
Lost the handle a little bit. All right. LaMelo lives for a moment like this.
Yes, he does.
What? What the hell? That was one of the most ridiculous shots I've ever seen a player hit. That was nuts.
What?
One-legged, horizontal logo 3, pretty much.
I don't know what you do against that. I mean, and then a brick. There's just some players that there's nothing you could do. The Pistons lose to Giannis. Okay. Giannis has 59. What are you going to do? There's like almost nobody who can guard him in the NBA, let alone anybody on Detroit. Just let him get his buckets and you just move on. LaMelo's not in that category of like star, but he's electric. And when he's playing that well, when he's playing that well, you just have to kind of accept it. He's just orchestrating the offense. So they replaced Ivy with Sasser. Ivy's been cold. Wendell Moore playing because he's kind of filling that Asar Thompson role for the time being. Oh. Beef Stew says, nuh-uh.
Beef Stew's seen enough. Nice shot. Hey, all things considered, you're down what? You're down 12 now?
Yep.
Just took a haymaker from LaMelo, but you're not completely out of it. Ah,
Pretty easy, just goes right at him.
all right, Miller's back. Don't know what happened there when it seemed like he was going back to the locker room.
Fontecchio, Stu. You're going to see more Fontecchio rest of the way as they need to get back into this.
Hmm.
Turnovers are just such a huge
Yeah,
problem. I mean,
an ugly possession there.
ugly possession,
Give up
ugly
an open three.
response.
All right, you dodge a bullet there. Can you get the board? Nope.
And the Pistons are actually a pretty okay rebounding team. I think that might even be better than okay. Yeah, they're fourth in the league in rebounds per game. But I feel like they're losing the rebounding battle today. Nope, they're clearly winning it. They've got 15 offensive rebounds. 15 offensive rebounds
Jeez.
and 18 second
Yeah, I
chance
mean,
points.
this should feel a whole lot better. Wow, threw it
Those-
right between the legs. It's the turnovers, which they have 15, and it's not just that they have 15 turnovers, but they've all been very like that one. At least was a dead ball turnover. You can look for something to be proud
Yeah,
of. A lot of them have been like live ball leading straight to transition opportunities, and the couple of rebounds that they have given up, like the one that we just saw, which I mean it went out of
yeah.
bounds, but just backbreakers, like momentum swingers. I wonder how many second chance points they have off of those 15 offensive rebounds.
The Hornets have 18 second chance points, but points off turnovers. The Hornets have 21 points off of turnovers.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That just when your margin for error is already relatively small,
Yep.
you don't want to be giving up.
Oh,
No, another one. Beef stew. Too low the first time, way too high
beef
the second
stew's
time.
not beef stew's not cooking.
Plus minus king though, he's still plus 10. That's why the stat is a little
He
rough.
just yeah, that's why the stat is rough. But I think in the aggregate over the course of a season, it has a little bit more merit. He just makes stuff happen when he's out on the court.
Mm.
I can't explain it.
Yeah.
Um, the counting
Yeah.
stats are not always great, but he's still, I think, their best option at center.
He does a good job cutting off the drive right there. Just gonna say you'll definitely live with that. Looked good for
Yep.
a second though. Nice.
Well, they brought this back to 14. Where's the Austin Carr line? Just get it to 10.
Yeah, I mean they managed to stay somewhat within striking distance here. A 14-point lead in the modern NBA is not as damaging as it used to feel.
No.
Oh man,
Oh
shook
Lord.
him up. Oh, he recovered for the block though.
Yep, sure did. Colin, full head of steam. I don't know
Oh,
what we're
kind
doing.
of did not need to shoot that. Just got picked up his dribble, didn't know where to go with it.
Yeah.
Especially, I think they probably could have gotten the last shot there too. So, all right, this is an important stop for as far as momentum goes. Clean look. Ah, I
Clean
think
look, but
that possession right there from Brandon Miller is maybe one of my biggest issues with him is the pull up mid range. If he was a better player at getting downhill, getting to the basket, that would go a long way for him.
yeah.
So all things considered, they lose that quarter 20-30. it felt much worse for a stretch
Felt
there.
much worse. Yeah.
Felt like they
it
were
did.
down by 100. So
Yep.
down by 14 now. Certainly still a game, but we'll see. LaMelo's already got 31. And obviously he checked out there down the stretch. So we'll see if he has any more magic left in the fourth quarter there.
Yeah, they withstood the LaMelo onslaught there. It does feel like it was a lot worse.
I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back.
Okay. $14-point game. All things considered, I mean, you live with what it was, which is a huge quarter from Charlotte's best player. Pistons have to clean up the turnovers, though. It's a necessity. Mm-mm-mm. Yes, Dan, that was a rough minute for Beef Stew, and he gets those from time to time.
All
See what
right,
the
fourth
Browns are
quarter
looking
time.
like. Scoreless, Browns. Yeah. Tony, are you local to Northeast Ohio? Like, are you still in Northeast Ohio?
Yeah, I'm in the Cleveland area.
Oh, okay. Nope.
Beef stew, making things
Beef
happen
Stew.
now.
Just make stuff happen. Yes, because you were supposed to come to the Rubber Ducks game for Brian Windhorst night, I think.
Was I supposed to be there for that? I don't remember.
Or
That
no,
was a while
I think
ago.
you had
There
said
was
that you
something.
wanted
There
to
was
go.
something that I was gonna come to. I think I couldn't go for a bobblehead night. We made it for the Hoop Collective thing, and then I
Oh,
know
good.
I was supposed to be there for one of the. You guys watched the finals. I think I was supposed to be there for that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, bobblehead night. I saw Jackson. He showed off the windy bobblehead, and there it is. The
I mean,
man,
it's
the myth,
pretty
the
good.
legend. It's not bad.
It's pretty good. I had a few people, because I put it on Twitter hoping to get Brian Windhorst to come sign it. And I had a few people message me asking if they could buy it. Someone said, "Name your price."
That's great. It's priceless. You can't put a price on the windy bobblehead.
And I tried to explain it to some of my other friends, and I'm like, "There's no point in trying to do this. It's just so niche." But he was there to throw out the first pitch.
Was it a good pitch? Oh, it was a nice knockdown.
No, it was not. It kind of looked like he was a trebuchet. His arm was a little bit stiff, and it had quite a bit of loft on it. It looked like an ephus.
Not great.
They also had 15 people throughout the first pitch that game, and he was last. It was really, really crazy.
Oh, that's strange. You only have one first pitch. You can't just keep passing it around.
Push Brian Windhorst.
Grant Williams in his bag.
I was just about to ask, is Duran coming in? And the answer is yes. That's another thing that JB has tried to do with Duran, kind of similar to what he did with Devin Mobley, was try to get him more involved in the elbow, or rather
Yeah, I've
at
noticed
the
that.
elbow. And what the? And
Get back somehow.
Duran just
And
doesn't have the
what?
playmaking
Nope.
skills
I saw
yet
some of the
to make
hype
that happen.
in preseason. They were talking a lot about him at the elbow. I saw the Bam comparisons. I saw the Mobley. And if I recall, he did a couple impressive things in preseason, right? Didn't he have a good preseason, or at least maybe
He
like a
did.
good
He
good
did.
game or two?
He did. Yes. He looked good, and Jaden Ivey was the winner of the preseason. He had maybe the best preseason. But there was some hype with Duran coming in, and I touted JB as being a big man whisperer, and I thought it would be good for him. Um, the Pistons also grabbed Vitaly Potapenko, who was another big man whisperer who used to be with the Cavs. I think the future is to be like a Bam at a bio type, can facilitate a little bit at the elbow, and you're really going to need that if Cade's by himself or Jaden Ivey's by himself, and you don't have as many playmakers. And it kind of goes all the way back down to like funnels back down to they don't have a backup point guard to run an offense. That's really what it comes down to.
Oh, Brandon
That
Miller
is
knocked it down.
crazy.
He's got such a nice looking jump shot.
Disaster.
Just stole it from himself. All right, here we go. That playmaking. No, he gave it up right away.
Ron Holland wanted it. He thought about it.
Gotta let it fly. All right, here comes Cade. Cade hit 2 threes there in that third quarter. I didn't
Yes, hits
notice.
the parlay. You didn't
The
notice
most
because one of them
important.
came right after LaMelo's crazy three, and he
Oh,
just
okay.
got down there
Yeah,
and
I was
immediately hit one.
I was clipping that for Twitter, try and push
I don't know
the
if I don't
playback
know if the
stream.
people in the stands saw it.
Yeah, everyone was going crazy. Cade came down. It was my time to shine.
So I'm gonna lose this parlay because Jaden Ivey's just killing me.
Nah,
But it was
yeah,
close.
you got some. Whoa! He had some bad intentions
Oh,
right there. That was some extension right there. See this again. Oh my. He was pretty far
wow.
away from finishing it, but man, to even try it.
Wow.
Did you see the NBA is tracking dunk score now? Like they're giving
Yes.
out scores. I think Trey Mann is one of the highest scored dunks of the year. I was taking a look at it though. Some of them, I don't know. I don't know about these scores. They gave like a perfect style score to like Zubac just catching like a regular alley oop. I was like, I don't know about this. I don't know if this is deserves 100 on the score. So I don't know how they're calculating it.
Are you a fan of All-Star Weekend?
I wish I was. I loved it when I was younger, as I'm sure most people did,
Sure.
and I tried to hold on as long as I could. Last couple seasons have been rough. The Saturday is still fun. It's the All-Star game that's really
Yeah.
become not worth
So
it.
so you tune in for like the skills challenge and the dunk contests.
Yeah, I'll usually check those out. I think they're fun. The
Okay.
3-point contest is kind of the highlight of the night now.
Even if a Cavalier's not in it.
Yeah, even if Sam Merrill chooses to spare everybody
Oh, here
and
comes
Donovan
Jackson.
Mitchell isn't able to he's not able to channel the spirit of Sam.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat of like it used to be really fun when you were a kid. I mean, even for Major League Baseball. Oh. Um, I remember going to Taco Bell with my buddies and coming back and wa- and watching the Eric Collin going nuts and
Yeah.
watching the home run derby outside or something like those are the core like good memories. Watching like a Prince Fielder
Mhm.
go at it. I just can't. I don't know what it is. Just aged out. I don't know what it is. like the changing formats and guys don't want to do it. You have the Mac McClungs of the world, and
It's
I don't know, it
yeah.
doesn't resonate as well with people.
That's the biggest thing right there is you can do whatever gimmick you want. You can change the format a million times. The only way this is ever going to become like a real thing again that people care about is if it's the actual star players and they're
Yeah.
actually putting in, they don't have to give 100% effort. Whoa, that pass was way above his head.
Did
They
a
don't have to give
Isaiah Stewart
100% effort,
impression.
but you got to, the effort recently over the last 10, 15 years, even has just, it's never been great for an all-star game, but it's
Yeah.
gotten worse and worse. I think, the fact that 3-pointers have become, I'm not one of those people who thinks 3-pointers are ruining the NBA, but it's probably ruined the All-Star game because now everybody's just jacking up. I don't even know what the numbers are, but I'm sure they took like 100 threes last year, each team. Like
Probably.
it's just kind of an excuse now. You can just pull 30 footers. Uh,
Yep.
so yeah, I don't know how to fix it. The only fix is they start taking it serious. That's the only real fix.
Yep.
Whoa!
Oh,
Oh, that would
come on.
have that would have just been
Come
ridiculous at this
on.
point. Rolling it off the top of the backboard. All right, this could turn into
10,
a
10
good.
point game.
As I say, it could turn into a good defensive possession, and they get the stop. I saw Dan. I saw one suggestion is that at least for Saturday, although Saturday I don't think is the biggest problem. I think Sunday is by far the worst, but for Saturday, I saw a suggestion that basically if you were on the All-Star team, you have to sign up for one of the Saturday events. So you're going to have a lot of guys taking the skills challenge, but if you're on the All-Star team, you have to do one of those events, whether it's the dunk contest, the three-point contest, or the skills challenge. I'm not sure. There's a lot of All-Stars, so I don't know exactly how the numbers there work, but I think that could be interesting. The only problem is if you have guys phoning it in, which they kind of already are. But at least with Mac McClung, he's not phoning it in. Like that's his stage, so he's trying to put on a show. If you had the All Stars out there, and it's just an abomination, is that worse than Mac McClung going up there? At that point, I don't even know what's worse. It's just like Mac McClung's really fun, but it's not
Yeah.
the same. It's not that he's not even an NBA
It's not
player.
Dominique Wilkins.
Yeah, there's just, to quote the kids, there's an aura about the stars coming up there. LeBron could have done
It's
the dunk
true.
contest he could have done nothing anywhere near what like Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine did, which they were a legitimately fantastic dunk contest. But the point that I'm trying to make is that if LeBron or any of these superstars do the dunk contest, the bar for like how good their dunks have to be goes way lower than what we need to see from Mac McClung for it to be worth it.
Yep. Yep.
It's
I mean,
definitely
the
it's a
MLB
shame
All-Star
LeBron
game.
never did it.
Yeah, and yeah. But I mean, I get it. I
Oh
get
yeah,
it.
for sure.
It's
Mm,
it's a it's a different era than Dominique and Michael Jordan, and guys are taking care of their bodies in different ways, and there's just different expectations and injuries and whatnot, and it's just it is unfortunate. Even the Major League Baseball All-Star game, though, there's an incentive to it where the winning league gets home field in the World Series.
yeah.
That is probably the only All-Star game I'll watch even a little bit. Um, I don't really tune in for the NBA All-Star game, to be honest. I'll tune in for the dunk contest, but I just can't do 193 to 188 All-Star
Yeah, it was
games.
absolutely absurd last year. And yeah, it's gotten rough. 14 rebounds. Just going out there grabbing every board, not even looking to score. Ooh, shook him all the way to
Silky,
the rim.
8-point game.
Yeah, they're right in it. Let's hope for a good finish here. Yeah, I don't know what Grant Williams thought he was doing right there.
Both teams have been horrendous at like cross court passes.
Yeah.
Horrendous.
Okay, nice shot. Duren getting involved now. 6-point game. Nothing. Fontecchio all over LaMelo.
I needed 15 J90 points, and that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think he's getting them.
He's got 2. It's not happening.
Big shot. Ooh, left it way
short.
That contest definitely bothered him.
Ooh,
filthy finish. Would you rather have LaMelo or Cade on the Pistons? Oh, the bank shot from the free throw line.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I think LaMelo has a higher ceiling probably, but again, it's just the bad habits that are on display with them worry me a little bit. But I was gonna say, he can do stuff like that.
He can, and it's that aura that Cade doesn't always have yet. And then gets rejected.
Ends it. Tobias Harris on the chase down. Nope.
Nope, not happening.
He was hustling though. I just got this possession spoiled for me by the ESPN box score. I won't tell you what happens.
Oh
no. I won't tell you. I'm gonna click off that tab though. The Jalen Duren bucket. Oh, it's an M1.
Go.
I didn't know it was an M1. During one of these Cavs playbacks, I accidentally got spoiled that Garland was going to hit a 3, and I said it out loud. But then the possession was the most hectic. Like the Cavs missed a shot, got the rebound, turned it over, guys fell to the floor. We had no idea how it was going to result in a Garland 3. So sometimes the spoilers don't actually ruin it for you, because I didn't know that was going to be an N1. I just knew we got 2 points.
I had the Rajay Davis home run spoiled for me in 2016.
Oh,
my
man.
Apple Watch got it before my screen did. And I went, no way.
That's crazy. It's
all
so
my friends
funny.
Were like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I'm not okay. I'm not okay. Call 911.
I'm so worried about the spoilers now because I'm always I feel like my stream's always delayed, and you get notifications on your phone or you see something from Twitter.
Yeah.
That even when I'm at a game in person, sometimes I'll be like hesitant to check my phone, and then I have to remind myself I'm here, I'm in person.
Yep.
It can't happen before I see it.
Ivy immediately gets a foul.
Yeah. Gonna need 13 straight points from him here. Save the parlay.
Oh, it's toast. It's toast. Oh, that one's never been used before. Bickering Bickerstaff. Oh, this Nick Chubb touchdown though might get me a little closer. There we go. Nick Chubb touchdown. I think the only thing that's not going to hit is say 90 points on a 6-leg parlay. That's unfortunate.
That's how it goes. You always lose them by 1.
Yeah, I don't know why I do this to myself, but it is.
Tobias Harris in the chat. Fingers crossed. Hey man, they're only down 5. They took a huge blow there from LaMelo. Brandon Miller is also having a great game. They've combined for 63, the two of them, on the Pistons right in this. Cade's got 25, 8 and 6. Tobias Harris is giving you 20. You got 16 off the bench from Beasley. It's been a fun game.
It has been a fun game. and it looked like it wasn't going to be a fun game.
Yeah, it looked like we were gonna
It
have
looked like it was going to be a
an
really
entire
crappy game.
yeah. We were a little worried there for a second. It's turned into a fun one. I had a feeling it could be two teams that are pretty much in the same tier. You know, like I would say they're basically neck and neck there.
Yeah, they were neck and neck. And then they all of a sudden weren't after LaMelo went crazy. And now they brought it back. And this is another part of the Pistons that has dramatically improved year over year. And it's just that last year's team would have absolutely collapsed. It
Mm.
just wilted like a plant and keeled over. And this year's team has been in a lot of close games. Remember, they were like they were the benefiting team from Eric Spoelstra's ghost timeout that won them the game.
Oh yeah.
They blew a huge lead against the Atlanta Hawks and came back to win. They had the Bucks game, which was super close. Could have gone either way. Ron Holland hits a free throw, the game's over. You know,
Yep.
the team would have wilted last year, but this year they're a lot more resilient, mental toughness. JB game manager. Jackson's come back because the Steelers are down. um, it's just a completely different team mentally. Like the Monty Williams effect just sapped so much energy from this organization, and JB and Langdon have come in and really stabilized it. And I mean, they were
Mhm.
down 19, come back, and now you have a chance to win this ball game.
Yeah, and it was an immediate response from that run too. I mean, it happened so quickly. LaMelo seemed like he was taking over this game. Then all of a sudden you look and it's only a 10, 12 point game. So definitely, like I said at the start, vibes matter. They really matter.
They
And the
absolutely
Pistons, they
matter.
have good vibes right now.
I mean, if you would have said at the beginning of the year, like, or even in the summer, the Sixers signed Paul George. If you'd have said, yeah, they're 2-11 and everyone hates each other, you would have been like, what happened? And the vibes do matter. I mean,
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey getting into it, that stuff matters. Like JB, challenge master.
JB showing up big down the stretch. Really looking forward to seeing JB develop as a coach because players can develop and so can coaches. He's one of the youngest coaches in the NBA. I think it's easy to forget that, especially with all the concerns and complaints that we had as Cavs fans over the years. But like we said, he's got one side of the floor basically figured out. He's just pretty damn good at establishing a defense wherever he goes. Trying to
Yep.
figure out the offensive end is the goal for him. And
Yep.
we've seen it happen with other coaches in the past. Mike Brown, as an example. So,
I mean, the Pistons were horrendous defensively last year. This could be the peak of Jackson's mad. I'm not even watching the game. I have no idea what's happening. Oh, look at that. Miles Garrett forced a fumble. What the? He's not good, though. I was told he wasn't good. Russell dropped it. Well, that's why I didn't start Russell Wilson in fantasy. I'm starting Bo Nix like an insane person. This is where the Pistons start to show their youth. This late game, they sometimes lose their head.
mm. LaMelo pull up. That's a tough shot.
That's a tough shot.
Oh, had Duran for a second there.
Duran wanted it.
You could hear him.
Yep. Someone's spoiling in the
Oh, got a
chat.
good look. Nice.
I'll buy it.
Buy it. Coming up clutch. That's why you go out and get him. 23 points.
That's why they do it.
Clutch corner three.
Oh.
Oh, in and out.
Yeah, we're on a slight delay.
I think we're slightly behind you. There's 2 minutes, 10 seconds left right now. Yeah, how is he in the chat? Shouldn't he be on the floor?
Oh, Cade wanted that.
Looked like he just lost the ball. Couldn't tell if he got blocked or not, but I think he just lost it.
I think he lost it on the upswing. Duran on LaMelo.
He's got the sideline helping him out. Oh, that is tough. All right, you'll live with that. You'll take that. That's a win for Duran. I know LaMelo can make that, but it's a really tough shot. Good drive.
Points.
Here we go. Hey, overtime. Overtime could get you there. It's not over till it's over.
I have the Pistons money line, so really what I need is a Pistons win. If Ivy gets, that's his fourth foul.
All right, so they're in the bonus after this next foul. It's coming down to the wire. This is what we were hoping for.
From the future. Tell me if my 2 parlays hit.
Yeah, help us out. All right, let's see what they get into here.
Next time. Honestly, that's probably correct. So,
can't touch it.
He can't touch it. That's the second time that's happened.
I was going to say you see it once every once in a while, twice in the same game from the same team.
That's like 2 wedgies in the same game.
That's Taj Gibson's veteran impact right there, rubbing off on the team.
Ivy cooking. Nope.
All right, good spin move.
Cade's got
nice. Drew the foul. Uh-oh. Tough ball.
Oh, boy. He landed on his back?
It looked like it. Definitely landed hard. Didn't look like he was able to break his fall at all. Oh, yeah. Probably get a better look at it right here, too.
Tailbone?
Still couldn't see it, but yeah, right on his tailbone. At least he didn't elevate too high. You know, if he had tried to dunk that and took a fall like that, it'd be a different story. So hopefully he'll be okay here. Yeah, this would be a tough loss for the Hornets after how momentum was completely
a tough loss for
in
either
their
team
hands.
at this point.
Yeah, good point.
You come all the way back and you lose, or you give
blow
up
a pretty commanding
19-point lead
at home.
At home.
I'm not sure if LaMelo has he scored since that run. I don't remember how much. He has 33 still. I don't remember how much he had entering the fourth. I think he had 31, maybe. I think he
had 31.
Yeah, I think he's got 2 since then.
So Charles Lee is challenging.
I mean, I don't know. I felt like that was a clear foul, but I was more so looking at how he fell. So let's see. I mean, that's just not vertical to me, but I don't know how much contact there was. I don't know. Probably see it better here.
Is that what they're reviewing? He extends his arm around.
Maybe.
See, he shoves his hand right here. That's not enough contact.
No, they're saying he maybe initiated the contact with Grant there. I don't know. The Stewart dunk didn't count.
It did not count. They called a foul before.
But yeah, if this is over if it's not a foul, Stewart got the rebound, so Detroit would maintain possession.
Uh-oh. We're getting spoiled in the chat again. Oh, there we go. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, I had a feeling that they weren't going to overturn that.
No.
Maybe if Grant had been completely vertical, but he was obviously leaning there.
Yep.
I can give him the lead here.
Good.
First lead, and I don't even know how long.
Have they had a lead?
I was wondering that.
The Pistons' biggest lead has been 3. That must have been very, very early in the first quarter.
Mm. "48 seconds. How do they close it out here?" Gotta imagine it's LaMelo or Brandon Miller taking the shot. If you're Charlotte, that's
Yep.
what you want at least.
A lot
Alright,
of
good
not
defense
much
now.
movement.
Yeah, not much going on. You're down by 2, so I don't know why you would wanna well, there you go. They got 2 anyways, but
They got 2
usually
anyway.
usually when you're trailing, you don't wanna take the whole shot clock there, but they ended
No.
up getting a wide open floater, like, basically a layup, so and here we go. This is it. Game time right here.
Who wants it?
Ooh.
Malik Beasley kind of wanted it.
Gets his own rebound. Oh, no. Oh, that hurts.
Oh, smoked him.
The first one was at least contested. That second one is the heartbreaker. You got 0.5 left here. The Pistons drew up a couple nice out of bounds plays. Some
That
lobs
initial
here.
runner was
Let's
tough.
see. First one was tough. See if
Second
Charlotte
one, I
can
thought he
bust
had
this
an
out.
opportunity.
Second one, I feel like he was
That's a
basically
hard
wide
shot.
open. That was
He
tough right
was wide
here.
open.
Yeah, just smoked it. I wonder if he didn't realize how much time was left, if he rushed it a little bit. Let's see, because it looked like he short armed it. Yeah. Full extension, you probably finished that. Oh, man. Just did not go in.
Nope.
Oh, they added time. Okay, yeah, there's plenty of time now. It was at 0.5 before.
If you'll recall, the Pistons lost on this play right here that I'm about to
Here
say.
it
It's a
is.
Brandon Miller putback at the
Oh,
buzzer.
okay, yeah. Mm.
Oh,
Well, there won't be enough time for all that, but it could still be
no.
the same end result here.
All right, let's see what they got. Who's getting the ball?
It's got to be LaMelo, but they could try to get something towards the basket. Use him as a decoy. All right,
JB
JB.
needs some time.
He's icing him.
Basically,
They're booing him. And it's not a bad idea. Why not?
mm. A Grant Williams 3 to win it would be very painful.
That's the worst possible outcome for everyone. Can Grant
that's
Williams get a
painful.
shot off in 1.2? We'll find out.
Yeah, that's a good question.
You'd hope so.
So the Hornets are in the bonus.
Yeah, it's something to watch for.
Yeah, something at the rim could incite some contact and get you a free throw attempt.
Yeah, put some pressure on the ref. All right, here we go. Looks like LaMelo.
He had plenty of
Ooh,
time. He
yeah.
missed it. Shouldn't say time. He had plenty of space.
Yeah, plenty of space. Probably should have shouldn't have taken that dribble.
Probably
Shot
not.
it late. Yeah. Probably should have caught it and shot it here. Let's get another look at it. Good play.
Yeah, but it's
Got a
good play
really
design.
right there. Probably needs to shoot it. He was very off balance, but like that's not usually a problem for him.
Look at how much space he's got. I mean, yeah, it's from the free throw line, but
Didn't get it off in time. But yeah, great play. The pass probably could have came a little later too. They gave it to him early. Good play, bad execution. Yeah.
yep, would say that is the case.
All right, we have basketball.
Tough.
Pistons down 14 entering that quarter. Managed to rally back.
Yep, make a game out of it, and with a chance to win. I need like 10 J90 points.
He can get them. He can get them all right here.
We'll see if that happens. It won't, but Dan, you and me both. Goes nuclear. He's got 4 fouls, and I feel like he hasn't even taken that many shots.
Yeah, he's 1 of 6.
Yeah, he hasn't even taken enough shots to get to 15 points.
He needs to channel his inner Colin Sexton right here and just go crazy in overtime.
I've made some Colin Sexton comparisons to Jay Ivey, and people were not happy with that. Pistons fans are not particularly happy with
He's
that.
a fine player, man. That would be a fine outcome for him.
I did it his rookie season, Ivey's rookie season, and people were like, he's better than Colin Sexton. I'm like, right. He's different from Colin Sexton.
Man. He is different. He's very different.
He's different. He's a different sized player. I think Ivey's developed a lot as a passer. Nothing wrong in being Colin Sexton now. What on earth?
Good start to the overtime here. I didn't even see what happened. I was looking at Twitter. I just heard the whistle. Oh, and then they foul on the inbound. They've committed 2 fouls in 1 second.
What?
It's got to be a record. 2 personal fouls in 1 second.
Oh, foul on LaMelo?
Oh, it's on LaMelo.
Is that his 6th?
Oh yeah, he's grabbing him. I'm guessing it is. Let me see. Yeah, it's a 6th.
That's the 6th.
What a horrible way to pick up the 6th. I just don't know what you're even doing there.
1 second in overtime and he's out? Wow.
That was just
Ivy.
a dumb foul to pick up. There you go. Ooh. Good pass.
Tobias says,
Harris.
I got it.
Yeah, Ball picked up those first 3 fouls in the first quarter. Definitely first half, but I think it was the first quarter. A lot of whistles.
A lot of whistles. A lot of reviews in that fourth quarter.
Mm.
Wow. 23-9 run. So Trey Mann in at point. Brandon Miller.
Whoa.
Oh boy. Whoa.
That was an audacious attempt.
What?
Oh.
Wow.
The behind the back from under the basket to the top of the key bounce pass.
Cade is also not in the game.
Oh yeah, what happened there?
Checking. He's not on the bench. Could be getting looked at after that fall.
Yeah, that's what I assumed. That was a monster steal from Brandon Miller, by the way. Just took that lob right out of the air.
Cade's not coming back. He's out, will not return due to a left hip injury.
Dang, that's unfortunate. They go to overtime, both LaMelo and Cade out right away.
That is per the Detroit Free Press. Hey, by the way, I have Cade on my fantasy team too.
The fantasy
in addition
curse.
to everything else.
The fantasy curse continues. It's all right. We're all here for the Grant Williams Tobias Harris battle anyway.
Grant Williams never missed key free throws in his life.
No, that's not something he would do. It's just not like
never.
him. He had both of them right there, didn't he? Oh no, he missed the first one.
He missed the first one, yeah.
He's improving.
That Ivy.
Oh man.
Smoked.
Great recovery.
Trey Man looking like Sebastian Telfair out there.
Yeah. Looks like he's in a different era of basketball. Grant Williams, step back 3, incoming. Air ball.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not? Ooh, it looked close to me. Duran bit on another Grant Williams pump fake.
At least he avoided the foul. Managed not to crash into him, which is good. Oh yeah, no bucket.
This is Ivy's time to get a bucket.
He's got to get one. He's had 2 good looks. He got, the good recovery on the block there, but he's gotten to the basket and ooh. Man, this is a weird game of basketball.
What a weird game. The Pistons cannot play a normal game of basketball in their life. Impossible. The Eric Spoelstra ghost timeout is very weird.
What? What was that?
How did he hit that?
I don't even see how he got the shot off.
He was completely covered.
Just flipped it up there.
Do something. Well, actually, it should be going through Tobias Harris.
Not a bad look.
Wow. Yep, Musa comes back in. He's had Duran's number all night.
Brandon Miller
that's the
up.
midi you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I foul on Duran.
Oh, he had a rough game.
Yeah, and nothing against Diabate, but this is a game where you'd want your first round pick center to be pretty good, to
Yeah,
like play well. While Mark Williams and Nick Richards are out, you would hope that Duran would have a better game.
mm, if he doesn't outright dominate, you'd hope that he'd at least win the matchup. But Diabate's got 15 boards, and he's only got 1 point, but he's out there just
Duran's got
hauling
5 and
in,
9.
cleaning the glass. Yeah, it hasn't felt good. Isaiah
5 and
Stewart's
9,
definitely been more
3 shot
impactful.
attempts. Isaiah Stewart's definitely more impactful. Yes.
Checking back into the game here.
We're gonna get that we're gonna start the trend. You just airball that? The
Honestly, I
stream,
missed
like
it. I was looking at the
no one
box score. I was
no
wondering what
one
happened
said
there.
anything.
Way short. Yeah, Eric Collins didn't say anything. I was reading the box score, and I just heard the whistle, and then I looked up, and they were inbounding it from the sideline. He was
Ivy
stunned.
full sauce.
You got to do something
Nothing to him.
wild to have Eric Collins too stunned to speak. No words from Eric Collins. It's crazy.
No words, nothing. Yeah, Ivy doesn't have it tonight. The offense has to flow through Tobias.
Bad time to lose Cade.
Bad time to lose Cade. Yeah.
That looked like it might have been off a man. I don't know. Tobias Harris, you're back. Just in time. The offense is running through you, buddy. Get ready. We need you out there.
The offense.
Tobias has had a good game, though. 26 points. He's shooting 10 of 15.
This is probably the best game he's had in quite a while. And this is the issue I was talking about earlier with the Pistons can't create any offense without Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
They don't have a backup point guard they could go to. They have to hand the ball to Ivy, and we've seen how that's been going. If they had a Ty Jerome or another backup point guard that they could rely on to just get the offense set, they don't even have anybody to get a set, started, and you could see the offense is just flailing out there.
Every team wishes they had a Ty Jerome.
Yep. That block by Brandon Miller, though, was insane. Or not really block. He intercepted that alley-oop. Crazy.
Got up so high on that. One-handed. If they win the game, that's one of the key plays right there.
Has to be. Stop a fast break dead in its tracks. I'd be slightly concerned by the fact they ruled Cade out immediately.
Yeah, that
was pretty quick.
Yeah, one on the clock. Got another good look. Oh. Wow. Brandon Miller.
Wow.
Stone cold, 33 points.
Wow. Tip of the cap. Dan, the Pistons schedule the rest of the year is Orlando at Orlando. They play Toronto, and then they have a short road trip to Memphis and Indiana, and then they'll play the Sixers at the end of the month. On the 30th. December gets a little tough. They play the Bucks, the Celtics, the Knicks back to back to start the month. So these are the games that you got to win. If you're the Detroit Pistons, you're 7-8, 7-9. You've had some close games, some winnable games, and these are the ones you want to be able to win against teams that I think you should be able to beat. They came into this game favored by 2.5 points. I think I could probably count on one hand how many times they were favored in any game last year.
Oh, probably wasn't many. I was looking at the schedule after seeing that chat too. I didn't realize they're 2-0 in the cup.
They are. They're 2-0. Their first
They got
two
it. They got a chance to
wins
make
in the
the
cup.
knockout round.
Yep.
They got the
That's a
Pacers
big
game that you
putback.
mentioned on Friday. Yeah, that could be the dagger if they don't score here. Let's see. Still a lot of time. It's a good look. Ooh. All right. Still alive. Nice
Look at that
pass.
pass.
That was a rifle.
That is
All right,
a
we're still in
great
it.
pass from Jaden Ivey.
Need a stop. Can the defense hold up right here? Brandon Miller's got it going. Pull up. Oh, that might be the dagger.
That might be game.
He just went off in the final minutes there. 8 points in overtime for Brandon Miller.
Yep, steps up when the star goes out. Brandon Miller comes in and can make some stuff happen. And
outscored Detroit on his own so far. They got 6.
It's an interesting dichotomy of shooting guards where Jaden Ivey just doesn't quite have the ability to go in and do. He doesn't have that, whatever Brandon Miller has.
That pull-up is just so tough to guard.
Yep, that's tough.
At that size, that release. Jackson tried to warn everyone about the Hornets. Calling J. Cole. Jaden Ivey. He's going to pull a Reggie Miller right here. 6 points in 8 seconds.
And Brandon Miller had the game winner last time these two teams played.
Yeah. The Pistons killer. I wouldn't say I've converted to being a Pistons fan, but I didn't really have a horse in this race, to be honest. I'm just here for the vibes. Just here to have fun.
Let's be clear. Like right there on my wall, I have the plain dealer of the Cavaliers winning the championship. So let's just be very clear on where I stand. But in games like this, I'll root for Detroit.
Wow. Eric Collins biting his words right there. I told you he's about to get a steal right here. No. You know, I guess you foul in that situation, but you'd have almost 6 seconds left if you get the stop.
Yep.
At least go for a steal, right? Like they fouled immediately. Did he step out? Ooh, is that heel down?
Looks like he did. That's not.
Yeah, I think he did.
You can't really tell by you can't tell by depth perception.
Can't change it now.
Nope. That's 8 points for Ivy. Kind of looks like it is out. Looks like it is on the line.
Jackson, I don't think you can change it.
Did they challenge? Can they challenge it?
I don't think you could, even if it was.
If they don't have a challenge, then
if it's not called, I don't. Because the shot went in and then they called the foul on the catch. I don't think you can go back and change that.
This is a ref game. This is an entire ref game.
Maybe I don't know the rule book. They are reviewing something though, so maybe they are reviewing it. But Diabate with the block. Can't see it. Oh, you can see it there. That would have been hilarious if his leg blocked the only angle they had. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm not saying this because I'm a converted Pistons fan. Just inbound the ball. Let's just play. This is stupid.
Yeah, let's just play.
The ref missed the call. Let's go. He hit a ridiculous fading 3. Let's go. Let's just play ball. Well, Jackson, the thing is they didn't make any call on the floor, and then they inbounded the ball and the play continued. So I don't think you can ever go the Max Strus rule. Actually, you may have a point there.
Yep.
You might actually have a point. I forgot about
good point.
that. Well, you know what,
I
Jackson?
Because he hasn't played all
season. They didn't take them off. They didn't take the points off. So Ethical Hoops wins.
This ends with the Pistons winning and Ivy having 14 points.
See. Now you got to foul. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if they reviewed it, he was out of bounds. So I don't understand if they reviewed that, Jackson, I don't know why they didn't take away the points. I mean, he looked out of bounds to me at least. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like fouling in that situation, you would have had almost 6 seconds, but I don't know. Missed one.
What a game.
Do the Hornets just foul them? Send them to the free throw line for 2. Avoid giving up a 3. Personally, I am not a fan of fouling when you're up, but I know JJ Redick and LeBron have talked about this. They advocate for it. Yeah, it's more common when you're up 3, but you could even do it up 4. But hopefully they just play it out. Oh, that's interesting. First time in Hornets history, 2 guys score 35 plus.
Wow.
Yeah, Brandon Miller, 38
I guess
points.
that makes sense.
0 free throw attempts.
Yeah, I can't think of another Hornet other than Kemba Walker.
Kemba Walker and why am I blanking on his name? The big man.
Gerald Wallace.
No, the Al Jefferson, right? Am I thinking of the right?
Al Jeff. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Chris Paul. Yes, that is the wrong Hornets.
Yeah.
Bobcats. Those are some other core memories of 2K when you're playing with Gerald Henderson. Oh my God!
Another
10
bucket.
points. 10 points. He's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me.
Officials are not reasonably certain as to which team should be awarded possession after. But did they were they actually reviewing that in this game? Because if they were, he looked like he was out pretty clearly.
Jackson got the rule book out.
Yeah. You are correct. I think they can change it, but I don't know if they reviewed it. I don't know what they were looking at, but you tell me why didn't they take away the points then? Was that not clear and conclusive enough? I thought he was out. He wasn't out of bounds. What do you mean? I thought he was definitely out. Maybe I missed
I thought he was out of bounds too. Grant Williams
missed the free throw. Was that Grant Williams?
That was Grant Williams.
Dude,
yes,
it's a nightmare for him at that free throw line. JB's used. It's the JB curse.
Jaden Ivey 3 coming up.
Man,
coming up.
The parlay clutch would be unbelievable right now. No timeouts. Oh, maybe they foul here. I hope they don't. But no timeouts. You got to get it up the full length of the court. You get it in bounds. And they foul. Ooh. Oh, it's so lame. Jackson has joined the stage. Jackson, can we put our differences aside and just agree that fouling up 3 is lame?
No, not anymore. Because I can't agree with you on principle in anything.
Oh my God. I try to offer a peace treaty.
Yeah.
So is he going to miss this? I'm an advocate for missing the second free throw, especially with no timeouts left. You miss the second free throw on purpose. Don't play the free throw game.
Play.
Yeah, it's a Donovan Mitchell play. I'm all for missing the free throw here, especially Taj Gibson's on the floor, though. It's over. That ball's not getting past him. He's cleaning up shop right here. Jalen Duren.
I mean, he could.
He's got to miss this on purpose. There's no reason for him to try to make this. Maybe he'll accidentally make it. That's always funny.
That sounds about right.
Oh, it's a perfect miss.
Tobias had it.
Tobias couldn't hold on to it. Oh, that was a perfect miss right off the front of the rim, hung in the air. Tobias got a great look at it if he could have corralled the board. But like I said, Taj Gibson, the bald head comes in clutch at the end, taking down JB. Wow, that was a pretty insane game.
That was a good game.
Lots of wild things happening down the stretch of that. GG's Tobias. What happened at the end?
Well, I'm leaving. Just letting you know that. You were wrong.
Oh, he just lost it.
Jackson needed
Thank
to
you for
throw
joining,
the
Jackson.
hammer down.
Man, let's see this right here. Just you know what? It got poked free by Martin, actually. I didn't see that on the other angle. Like I said, Taj Gibson coming in clutch. All right. That was a very entertaining game. Mike, it was great
What you want to see from
formally introduced, I guess.
Second overall pick
over a screen with my camera off, but it was great to do this, man. It was a lot of fun.
7-4 and 4 steals.
All right, everybody. I want to thank everyone who tuned in on YouTube and Playback. We're going to be back. I think me and Jackson might be doing a game tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. I'll be posting about it. And Cavs fans, we will be here on Sunday.
Tough loss.
And I'm looking forward to it. Have a good night, everyone.